Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hello, good morning, everyone. This is called improvising and not leaving you guys empty-handed. So I do have a backup plan. Tracy Farrader's hearing. I just got more of the nitty-gritty. She's just going there to ask for indigency, which means Tracy's going to be like, I'm broke. So that's pretty much all it's going to be. And I think that the judge will just grant that or not grant it. So maybe like the networks didn't feel it was, enough to justify setting up their cameras today. So that's okay. We will keep following it. I guess Boy in the Box Mom is back in court on Friday. She also has a hearing on Friday. So I did shoot off an email to the court so we can find out what's going on Friday. And I'm freezing. It's cold. It's cold. And Roro calls him Pawpaw.
Roro calls him Pawpaw.
Roro. Who is Roro?
Who is Roro? So we're going to talk about Stephen Smith. I'm going to
wake up.
I'm going to wake up with my coffee. No, I'm doing a replay from the other channel on Stephen Smith because this was a good one. This is where I read through all of the case file that was released on him. Criminal Med, welcome to chat. This is a live chat reminder to put your chats on live. And I'm going to highlight your chat as we go, and we're going through this. So look at that. This live stream is the bomb.com. I'm just kidding. So yeah, feel free to chat away. And we will check the court documents to find out what happened with Tracy as soon as they're posted. So everything's public in her file as of now. So we're going to go ahead and watch a replay. This is from, let me get you the date, March 28th of 2023. So I will be here. I'm just going to go off camera and let this roll, and I'll be chatting with you guys and pinning your comments as we go. A reminder, hit the like button, subscribe if you want more, and if you want to become a member, the mods will tell you how to do it. And you can be a part of our Discord, which is tons of fun. Oh, another reminder, I canceled the event for tonight, I think the 4th GOP debate, because it is hosted by News Garbage Nation, and it's on all their networks. So I won't be streaming it, but we will watch it in Discord. How about that? Cash me outside, News Nation and Nexstar. How about that? All right, let's get this rolling. I'm going to go off camera. I wanted to say good morning. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, December 6th. Today is my dear mother's birthday. So happy birthday, Mom. I know you're around. I feel her every day. But today's my mom's birthday. So, all right, guys, let's get this going. Potato in chat. Nice way to start it out. Oh, bear with me, folks. And make sure that you put it on live chat, you guys, as opposed to top chat. I always forget that. Hello, Skittles. Hello, Heather. Hello, Mandajo. Traffic was bad. You took a wrong turn. Did you have someone hit a fire hydrant or something? Hello, Vegas. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Let's get our screen back. I think Potato broke the internet this morning. Because now it's crickets from that side of the pond. What's going on? And I did share these documents in Discord as well. So if you guys want to follow along or read on your own time, whatever the case may be, they are in, or the link is in Discord. All right. So we're back. Breathe in, breathe out. Oh, is Mike having a roly-poly kind of day?
Roly-poly, daddy's little Betty. Betty's gonna be a man someday.
Hit a fire hydrant. Roads are flooded. No report taken. All right, let me open up my messages because I always hate when I leave potato hanging. Oh, okay. She's got a phone call. Oh, potato. So we're gonna break right into this now. Okay, so let's rip the seal. And this is the South Carolina Highway Patrol Multidisciplinary Accident Investigation Team notes. We are talking about Stephen Smith, who we've heard all this talk about Buster and him possibly having a relationship, Buster Murdaugh, or Murdoch, however you want to say it. If you're from the low country, low country says Murdoch and Walmart. But here, I say Murdaugh and Alex. So anyways, this is Stephen Smith, which was a classmate of Buster Murdaugh, and it was rumored that they had a relationship and that the Murdaughs covered up this death. Now, we know for a fact that Randy Murdaugh, who is a partner in the law firm, actually called Stephen Smith's dad. And this was on the day of the accident, and offered up free legal services for a wrongful death suit, which is interesting, right? So we're like, so the Smith family was like, wait, we haven't even identified him yet. We're at the hospital right now. Like, why is Randy Murdaugh calling us?
Or is it a cigar?
I just wanted to interject really fast here. So if you watched the 48 Hours that just came out with Stephen Smith's mom, she also stated that she drove by the scene. So not only did Randy Murdaugh call her husband Joel, Sandy's husband Joel, which is his dad, but Randy Murdaugh, she said that she drove by the scene where Stephen was killed, and Randy Murdaugh and Alec Murdaugh were standing at the side of the road. She said she didn't stop. She kept going. And then Randy called her and said, "Was that you that just drove by? Because I wish you would have stopped." And she was like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "I wish you would have stopped because I would have loved to meet you." So you couple that with Randy also calling her husband, or not her husband, but Stephen's dad, to offer up free legal when they haven't even figured out what happened yet. Very sus. So that was like red flag number one with the Murdaughs. But the Murdaughs could just be ambulance chasers. Yes, BB, mommy, I do. You're just figuring that out. Yes, I do. I've had them for 3 years. But at any rate, it just doesn't make sense. And I don't remember what I was saying now. So I'm going to step away from chat and we're going to focus on these documents because this is important. But at any rate, they blamed Buster, lately since, the whole trial and everything. So Buster's been in the hot seat because they reopened this investigation. Now, his boyfriend, Stephen had a boyfriend. And his boyfriend has a lot of social media posts. I don't know if you guys know about the boyfriend. Now, what's really weird is that in these documents, it states that the boyfriend started getting threatening calls from overseas. So this is weird. So Mary P says the Murdaughs were Steven's baseball coaches, FYI. Okay, so if the Murdaughs are just ambulance chasing lawyers, that could explain it. But there is a boyfriend and he's twice his age, dude. This is shocking, disturbing shit. All right, so we know that Steven was 19 years old when he died. And this is the collision report. And, we're just going to scroll through. But you do see... No, I don't think he's a sugar daddy because the dude was like homeless. No. I don't know where they met. We're going to get to that. I got all the screenshots, man. We'll get to that. Okay, so I'm going to step away from chat and we're going to go through these so we can get through them in a sufficient amount of time. AKA, I don't want to be here all day reading. So this is the team members on scene is Booker, Duncan, and Conley. So Booker, Duncan, and Conley responded to this 911 call. And it says here, on July 8th, between the hours of 1 and 4 a.m., an incident took place involving the victim and an unknown subjects. The victim was found in the middle of Sandy Run Road deceased from some sort of blunt force trauma to the head. I responded to the scene. I saw no vehicle debris, skid marks, or injuries consistent with someone being struck by a vehicle. The victim's shoes were loosely tied and were both still on. That's a telltale sign that he wasn't hit by a car. If they were loosely tied and he got struck, number one, I don't think he'd be in the middle of the road. And number two, I don't think his shoes would be on. And he'd have more injuries than just his head. After consulting with Mate, we see no evidence to suggest the victim was struck by a vehicle. The incident is still under investigation with supplemental report to follow. Gina. So this is the diagram of where he was found. Weird place to end up when you are hit by a car, right? So here we have notified by Lieutenant Brock of the incident. I notified Corporal Duncan to contact scene supervisor. Duncan called me to advise he was told it appeared to be a homicide and SLED was taking it over. I was advised there was a possible gunshot wound to the victim's head. Corporal Duncan then discontinued his trip to the scene. I then advised Lieutenant Brock of the updated status of the incident. I was notified by Lieutenant Brock that the victim did not have a gunshot wound according to the autopsy. So at 6 a.m., they thought he was shot in the head. At 18:14, they found out he was not. Contacted Sergeant Burns and Sergeant Moore to gather further information. Contacted Duncan to formulate a plan of action. Flyer was made and disseminated. The next day, 9 a.m., met with Sergeant Moore, Duncan, and Rowell and Brittany Burke from SLED at People's Road Inn Funeral Home to examine the body. Before we get into this part, I do want to say, criminal, yes, you are correct. It also did come out that they believe it was something extending off of the truck, such as a mirror or a ladder or something like that, because he had no injuries to any part of his body other than his head. That just came out. Nothing but head injuries for him. So he wasn't hit by a vehicle like in the abdomen and thrown. But this kid was in the middle of the road. Imagine a desolate country road. This is what I don't understand. Did he get flung in front of the car? Because why was he in the middle of the road? If you're on a desolate road at night, you would definitely see the headlights coming. So why would he still be in the road? No road rash whatsoever. That was another thing that came out about his injuries. It's very bizarre, guys. Very bizarre to me. So I just wanted to give an update on that because that came out in the 48 hours like a week ago too. To make contact with 911 caller at his residence. He was not home. Traveled to the scene and documented. Met with Hampton County SO Sheriff's Office to gather any of their information and the victim's phone. Corporal Allen, this is going back to the 8th. So this is Duncan now. That was Booker. And now this is Corporal Duncan. Corporal Allen advised me that we were not needed at the autopsy. This was according to SLED in Hampton County Sheriff's Office. So there, right there, tells me where the corruption lies. Hi, Casey. Work it, girl. Work it. Own it. Met with First Sergeant, or what is that? Moore, Booker, Rowell, and Brittany Burke SLED at the funeral home to examine the body. Photographs were done at this time. Why would they say they weren't needed? Left the funeral home to attempt to interview with Ronnie Capers, 911 caller. They were desperately trying to talk to him to see what he saw, if anything. Traveled to the incident site, traveled to 4220 Joe Miley Road, and met with father, sister, and brothers. I didn't know he had brothers. Notified at 5:18 by Sergeant Booker in reference to an incident in Hampton County on Sandy Run Road. Contacted, now this is Duncan, sorry. Contacted Corporal Allen, on-scene supervisor, in reference to this incident. States a white male was found on the roadway on Sandy Run Road. The only injuries to the victim were around the head area. Corporal Allen called back and advised me that it appeared to be a homicide and SLED had been called. States it appeared to be a possible gunshot wound to the victim's head. At this point, I contacted Sergeant Booker and advised him of the circumstance. According to the family, Stephen would never have been walking in the middle of the roadway. States he was very skittish. Clothes and iPhone sent to SLED. Now, you're going to hear in a minute that they couldn't retrieve his data from his phone. Audio interview conducted with 911 caller Ronnie Capers. Mr. Capers states he never stopped. He saw someone lying in the road, states he thought it was an animal at first, but when he got closer, he saw it was a white guy laying in the road. On 7/14, traveled to Hampton County Sheriff's Office, impound lot to photograph Stephen's car. Now, this is important. Gas cap was unscrewed and hanging outside of the gas cap door. So the story is that his car ran out of gas and he was walking and he got hit by a car. First of all, why are you going to open your gas thing unless you have a gas can or someone has stopped with a gas can or told you they had a gas can, like, hey, and you open it? Or it was staged to look like that. Hello, Lucy Sable. Welcome. Glad to have you. So we don't know if it was empty. It states in here that it wouldn't start, but the battery was good. The key was in his pocket. It was in Stephen's pocket. All right. So contact. This is on the 14th. Okay, this is on July 14th as well. Contacted Marc Burkhart by phone. Mr. Burkhart was in a relationship with Stephen Smith. Now let me show you. I'm like, who's Marc Burkhart? This is Marc Burkhart. Right here. This was Stephen's boyfriend. And we'll read a little bit more about that. Let's keep going. Traveled to Mr. Burkhart's residence and conducted an audio interview. States him and Stephen were in a relationship. States he had talked with Stephen by phone and text on the morning of the incident. States he believed foul play was involved. After leaving Mr. Burkhart's residence, he called me at approximately 2:12. States he is not sure about the timelines and just rambled in conversation. Contacted Corporal Rowell about asking the family for Stephen's iPad and laptop. Mr. Burkhart called again. This is on the same day at 16:37 hours and left a message. Next day, Mr. Burkhart called 3 times. 12:34 and 12:35. Actually, twice at 12:34 and 12:35. Left a voice message. Mr. Burkhart called twice while I was in a meeting. Call times are 10:49 and 10:51. Subject left voice message. Sup, Melissa B. Traveled to Troop 7 headquarters and met with Lieutenant Taylor and Moore. Briefed them on the incident. Moore transferred the iPad and computer to me. Gina, leave Streamlabs alone. That's my advertising. Please. Contacted Rowell to make arrangements to interview Stephen's twin sister, Stephanie Smith. Now we're on the 17th. Traveled to Hampton County and interviewed Stephanie Smith at the DMV office.
Streamlabs alone.
States Stephen became very secretive about 2 weeks prior to the incident. So his sister is saying his twin. She did not know anyone who had a problem with Stephen. States Stephen had a class at Orangeberry Tech on the 7th of July. Also says she didn't talk about his boyfriend a lot. Returned computer. iPad taken to Charleston South SO by Corporal Proctor. Spoke with and interviewed Stephen's mother. Mother confirmed that Stephen had become more secretive lately. Mother also said that Stephen had a friend at something. What does that say? I had a friend at something, but they had a disagreement a while back. Possible named James, but they became friends. Thought it was strange Stephen was not studying like he used to. Welcome, Flo, to the fam over here. And was playing hooky from school. Spoke with Corporal Rowell about tracking down James at Bilo. I think it's Bilo. And checking on video from store at seeing Marc Burkhart earlier that morning around the incident site.
What?
Thank you for your support, Flo. Spoke with Rowell about James and video. No video, and James states him and Stephen had a relationship for a while, but has not seen him in a while. Contacted Lieutenant Johnson at SLED. Still no luck unlocking the phone. Spoke with Stephen's mother. No new information. Reviewing iPad download. Media 7/5/15 at 2:44 Eastern Standard Time. 11:50 to 1 o'clock. Do not come. ... And then this is in Spanish. I can't read Spanish. Hey, Feminem. I don't know what that says. Something about a house. I don't know. Can you guys read that? Tuesday, 3:30, it says 1955, and this is information from the iPad. Contacted Lieutenant Johnson with SLED. Made arrangements to pick up the iPhone on Tuesday. Contacted Sandy Smith in reference to assisting with unlocking the phone. Sandy states she was the secondary fingerprint for the phone. States she can meet with me on Tuesday in Orangeburg. Now remember. Stephen's phone went to SLED. Now they're wanting the phone back, right? Now check this out. Picked up the iPhone from SLED. No chain of custody with the phone. So no one knows who fucking had it. And they met with Sandy Smith and Stephanie, and they were unable to unlock it. So who thinks that someone fucked with the phone? See, that's what makes me go back to the Murdaugh theory. That's what makes me go back to the Murdaugh, good old boy in the system theory. Because why wouldn't they be able to unlock it? No chain of custody, and then they can't unlock it. Okay, I'm going to interject. There's some other news that came out in the 48 hours that was done with Steven's mom, and that was that his phone was in his pocket, and it was completely not damaged at all. It was completely intact. The screen was fine. Everything was fine on his phone, and it was in his pocket. That's weird. That's really weird to me.
What?
That was
Makes no sense.
that was from
Contacted
the live.
Rachel Tootin, Steven's best friend, states last time she spoke was by text around 7 to 8 p.m. on 7/7/15. No other information. Conley met with me around 8:30 to transfer the iPad to me. Returned iPad to Stephanie Smith. Okay, so a month later, Stephanie contacted me by phone, states had some information she needed to give me. I asked Stephanie if she would email me the information we talked about. I received an email with the information. Same day, Sandy Smith called, states she went back out to the scene and found a footprint 200 feet down from where Steven was found. States the impression was in an ant mound. Also says another print was not visible because of rain. This poor mother is out there a month after her son was hit, trying to find answers, clues. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Contacted Angela Carroll in reference to Steven Smith's death. Information from Stephanie. States a boy named Brendan asked if Steven and Buster Murdaugh ever had any type of relationship. Attempted to call Brendan. No answer. Left message. The father of Brendan Strother called me. Wanted to know what was going on. Stated he would have his son call me later. So this dad was like, what the frick is going on? Why you calling my son? Briefed Sergeant Moore in reference to Brendan, and Brendan contacted me at 10:35. States the text he sent Angela was just what he heard from others, just rumors. Attempted to contact Marc Burkhart by phone, went straight to voicemail. Left Mr. Burkhart a message, time 10:54 hours. Attempted to contact Marc Burkhart. See, Marc Burkhart was blowing up his phone before. What happened, Mr. Burkhart? What is it? Frankly, I want to go home. This color is killing me. Weird. So he was blowing up their phone before, and now they're trying to call him, and he's not answering. He's not calling him back. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. His pants were not. No, ma'am. He was clothed in jeans. Attempted to call Marc Burkhart, goes straight to voicemail, left another message. So this is 8:17, 8:17, 8:18, and then 8:26. Attempted to call Marc Burkhart, left a message, goes straight to voicemail. So we've got 4. And yes, thank you, Mary P, for that. We got 4 attempts in the month of August to call Marc Burkhart, and he doesn't answer. 8:26, spoke with Sandy Smith. Gave me a phone to a person that may know some information. Only knows first name Cecil. Attempted to contact Cecil. No answer. 8:26, attempted to contact Nora Williams. Sandy Smith states she may have some information on Steven's death. Rings 4 times, left no voicemail. There's no voicemail. 8:26, spoke with Stephanie Smith about Nora and Dale Stanley. States Dale says there was a green Jeep that was following Steven on or the day before he died. Now we have a green Jeep. Who drives a green Jeep, yo? Sandy Smith called me at 12:23, wanted to know if any of the interviews have led to any new information. Sandy Smith called and said she had heard on the radio that an arrest had been or will be made in reference to her son's death. Proctor contacted the radio station in reference ask him to find out if this was true and maybe who called saying it. Received an email in reference to an anonymous tip on 12/7. States Dontario Aiken, along with another black male and a white male, Murdaugh, are the ones involved in death. This tip is referring to Stephen Smith. So this is in December now. You guys, chill. We're going to get to the part. We're not even to the body yet. We're not even there. Okay, we'll get there. All of that's in here. It's 112 pages. We're on page 24. Contact Rowell and briefed him on the information. Also sent an email. Moore, Burns, and Booker about what I wanted Rowell to do. Sent Proctor this information and advised him about situation. I went down to MUSC on this date to meet with Dr. Erin Presnell. She is the pathologist that performed the autopsy on the victim in this case. The reason I went and spoke with her was due to a preliminary report where she stated the victim was possibly struck by a motor vehicle mirror, which was the cause of death. Moore had already had, from my understanding, a heated conversation with her about this issue. The MATE team has always had a good working relationship with MUSC, so I wanted to see if I could go down there and get some sort of clarification. As soon as Dr. Presnell came in the room, she began a negative tone, stating that I did not have a meeting scheduled and she was very busy. She stated that I could not even begin speaking about this case with her without the coroner's consent. I advised her that I had spoken with Coroner Washington the day before, and she basically called me a liar. What?
Because you're a liar.
And said she would call him right then. When I asked if she wanted me to call from my cell phone, she backed off. I asked her why she stated that in the report, and her answer was, quote, because he was found in the road. She had no evidence other than that for the statement being put in the report. She asked why we did not think it was a vehicle strike, and I explained to her that we had no evidence of this individual being struck by a vehicle. I asked her if someone with a baseball bat could do that, and she said no. When I probed further about someone in a moving car with a bat, she stated, well, I guess it's possible. She then asked if we found a bat as evidence. I could see this conversation was not going to yield any positive results. As I was leaving, she stated that the report was preliminary and it was my job to figure out what struck him, not hers. I spoke with Coroner Washington today in reference to the final autopsy report issued from MUSC. He faxed me a copy of the report and told me that he does not agree with the pathologist, stating that the victim was hit by a motor vehicle. We discussed the fact that the report states that the cause of death is blunt head trauma. Motor vehicle crash, pedestrian versus vehicle. Then the manner of death was undetermined. I would think that the blunt force trauma would be the cause of death, and the motor vehicle crash would be the manner that was delivered to cause the death. The pathologist also states in the report that in light of historical information along with the autopsy, these conclusions were made. To what historical information she possessed, I am unaware. I attempted to speak with Dr. Presnell at an earlier date to go over information that had been discovered throughout the investigation, and that was ill received. Good morning, beautiful Cheryl. The coroner did tell me that the deputy coroner had gone down to MUSC the morning of the autopsy and spoke with the pathologist. She has since been fired from his office. Oh, what? Whoa. I spoke with the deputy coroner Green and Agent Burke with SLED, as both of them were present at the autopsy. Both stated they made no reference to the pathologist about the victim being struck by a vehicle, only that he was found in the road. The coroner stated that he had made contact with the pathologist, Dr. Presnell, and she stated she'd be willing to change her report to however he wanted it. Wow.
What?
I received a message to call SLED agent Michael Moskal in reference to discussing trace evidence located on the deceased clothes in this case. During our conversation, Mr. Moskal advised he located around 10 1mm single layer blue paint chips. Mr. Moskal advised he needed more paint layer evidence to pinpoint a particular vehicle. Mr. Moskal advised that the PDQ database indicated the paint could be from an industrial tool, dumpster, or signpost. Mr. Moskal added that Toyota used this particular paint on its vehicles from 82 to 88. So it could be from a multiple of things. I received information from Duncan about an individual named Daryl Williams. He is stating that his stepson, Patrick Wilson, told him Sean Conley struck and killed Stephen Smith. Sean Conley. Never heard this name. Mr. Williams stated that his son told him this in confidence and that his son had moved out and he did not know where he was staying. He could only tell me that Patrick attended some Christian school in Ridgeland. I drove down to Ridgeland and went to Step of Faith School. Patrick Wilson was not a student there. I then found Legacy Uhaw Baptist Church School. Patrick is a student, but was not there that day. I then drove to Hampton, attempting to locate an address for Patrick. I could not get his stepfather to return my calls. Mr. Williams stated that the reason he was passing this information on was because Randy Murdaugh told him to call.
What?
Guys, what? Oh, God, this is a lot. Corporal Hoffman and I went to blank in an attempt to interview Dontario Aiken. Now, Dontario was the one that this anonymous tip came in and said it was him, another black man, and Murdaugh, but it didn't say which Murdaugh. This is a Hyundai Genesis parked in the front yard. Within minutes of being at the subject's house, his family began arriving. We had no answer at the residence, and I made contact with the subject over telephone. Mr. Aiken advised he was working with a logging company, Brunson Forest Products, and we met him on SC3 at the railroad tracks in the town of Beldock. Mr. Aiken advised he did not have any knowledge of who killed the victim. Mr. Aiken advised he learned of the death through Facebook. Mr. Aiken advised... Wait, hold on. Mr. Aiken advised he did not have any knowledge of who killed the victim. Mr. Aiken advised he learned of the death through Facebook. He advised he was working with BLT Logging as part of a swamp crew cutting a tract of woods during the week the victim was murdered. Mr. Aiken advised his logging company, BLT Logging, gave all employees their own private room in a hotel on US 17 in West Ashley between a Waffle House and a Speedway and was rented by TJ Pennington. He added that he came home on weekends and stayed in the hotel all week. Mr. Aiken remembered that he worked changing trailer tires in a still with Deontay Williams on the Saturday he was home, and the week afterwards went straight home. Mr. Aiken advised he knew the victim from Wade Hampton High School. Oh, Lord. Mr. Aiken said he played football and advised the victim was a trainer with a football team. Stephen was a trainer? I asked Mr. Aiken, I asked Mr. Aiken why someone would kill the victim. Mr. Aiken replied that he had no idea. I asked Mr. Aiken if he ever goes out partying in the country, and he said it's been a long time since he's done that. I've read this before. I asked Mr. Aiken if he was friends with anyone with the last name Murdaugh. He said he went to school with a girl with the last name Murdaugh. I asked him if he knew any boy with the last name Murdaugh, and he said that he graduated with He said he knew one that graduated with the victim. Wait, what? I asked him if he knew any boy with the last name Murdaugh, and he said he knew one that graduated with the victim. Mr. Aiken said he was not friends with any Murdaugh subjects on Facebook, but later wanted to look on his phone to see. There was no cell signal to check. I later looked on Facebook and saw the subject is friends on Facebook with Buster Murdaugh. Oh, shit.
What?
Mr. Aiken stated he never hung out with him or went to any parties hosted by any Murdaugh subjects. I asked Mr. Aiken what rumors he had heard around town about the victim's death, and he advised he only heard he was hit by a car. Mr. Aiken portrayed himself as a hard worker who, when not working, sleeps and visits his girlfriend. At the end of the interview, I turned off my audio recorder. A follow-up question was asked, and I pushed the record button on the audio recorder. The second recording was edited in at the end of my original interview. Wow. So here is Steven's driver's record. Absolutely nothing to be seen here. I mean, kid was squeaky clean, man. So this is them getting the Verizon wireless records. The target phone being identified as having the number of blank and is further known as target phone. Any and all incoming and outgoing historical call data. They wanted everything. The owner of the cell phone was fatally wounded in an incident on or around July 8th, 2015 on Sandy Run Road in Hampton, South Carolina. The use of the phone before the incident are pertinent to the ongoing investigation. The individual was found deceased in the middle of the roadway with severe head trauma. The investigation has led to this individual not being struck by a vehicle and possible foul play. The information on the phone would help determine who the victim had contact with prior to the events that led to his death. And then this is, I believe, the 911 information. And then this is the flyer they put out with Crime Stoppers. And they did call it a fatal hit and run. And then they changed it. Look, fatal hit and run. Then they were like, F this. It's a fatal incident. And then this is his schedule. This would be his classes that he was taking. This is so sad, you guys. So sad. Okay, so this is, that's as far as I got. I haven't read any of this. One black Nike short sleeve shirt was analyzed. No automotive paint found. Khaki Union Bay cargo shorts. Item 3 was analyzed using physical characteristics. No automotive paint found. Cutting taken from item 3. And it was analyzed using Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy with microscope attachment. Wow. No automotive paint found. And one pair of Airspeed footwear shoes. No paint found. And then debris collected from items 2 through 4. Several single-layer metallic blue paint chips were found. Due to the condition of the sample, no make, model, and year was able to be obtained. These paint chips are suitable for comparison should a standard become available. Can you imagine how frustrated his mom was seeing this? My heart goes out to that woman. Okay, so this is the crime scene investigation summary from SLED. On July 8th, 2015, at approximately 6:12, SLED crime scene was requested by Chief Billy Gerald with the Hampton County Sheriff's Office. I'm going to take this boyfriend off the screen here. Hold on. Let's get rid of him. Let me show you another screenshot. He's kind of a sicko a little bit. Like, this is one of his Facebook posts, right? Yeah. And he moved up there for Steven. All right, I'll leave that up. You can read that. Oh, shit. I just heard a pop. I think that means we've got potato. Hold up. Do we have the potato?
Hello.
Oh,
I'm back.
hello. It's nice to hear your voice.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Hey, phone calls come in, man.
I know,
alright.
just at the right time.
Right. It always happens that way, doesn't it?
What is that thing on your screen?
What thing?
To the left side of your screen. Did you not see it?
Left side of my screen? Oh, it was the penis thing?
My penis is my favorite toy.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I was Oh, I'm sorry. I was explaining that before you called in.
I was like,
That's
what is
not a
going
message.
on here?
That's not a message from me, I promise. That is. So what that was actually a post of Steven's boyfriend on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Ew.
gross. That's why I removed it as quick as I put it up there. I was like, ew.
Yeah, that's not right.
Everybody is saying hello to you in chat.
Hi, everyone in chat.
Prepper says, speaking of automotive paint, my wife just made breakfast. Does her breakfast taste like automotive paint?
Oh, geez.
Oh, Lord, Prepper. What are we going to do with you? I think Prepper and CEO were separated at birth.
Separated at birth. Mhm.
All right. So you haven't been listening up until now. You're probably going to have to catch up later. But
Mhm.
we're on the sled portion. But we've had a lot of people brought in. We've got this character who played football at the same high school as Steven and Buster. He's been, there was a anonymous tip. So he's been implemented. He was questioned and said, I don't know anything about it. They said, do you know any or do you know anybody with the name Murdaugh? And he said, oh, I know a girl. And they were like, how about, he says, oh, I know the victim knew a Murdaugh. And then they said, are you friends on Facebook? And he said, I don't think so. Let me check. And then he didn't have a signal. So they went back and then they went on Facebook and checked, and he was friends with Buster.
Interesting.
Yeah. So why lie about being Facebook friends with Buster unless you did something
you kind
wrong?
of know. You'd know if you were friends with someone on Facebook.
Right.
Okay, I need to interject with some new stuff. Trying to interject this as it comes up. So this right here is a clip from that new 48 Hours. I've been over here clipping for you guys. This is Buster. And I don't believe that he doesn't know Steven better than he claims. I mean, I'm not trying to be judgy here, but when I realized that Buster was engaged or something like that to a woman, I was floored. Let me just put it that way. So let's watch this quick clip of Buster, because I'm not believing Buster Brown.
Of his involvement.
I never had anything to do with his murder, and I never had anything to do with him on a physical level of any regard.
He also provided an alibi.
The night Steven was killed, I was at our Edisto Beach house.
With your family?
With my mom and my brother.
How convenient, right? He was at the beach house with his mom and his brother, who are both deceased and can't speak. I mean, come on. This doesn't get any more where it's just redonkulous at this point. Here is another clip from 48 Hours. This is the Smiths investigator, and he's going to show you where Steven was and how he fell in the road based on his investigation. Hold on, let me make that a little smaller. Okay, here we go. This is the guy from 48 Hours, the investigator.
SLED has kept its investigation close to the vest, but Bland and Richter say a grand jury was impaneled and is issuing subpoenas.
They're honing in on specific individuals, and I think there's about 5 or less that SLED believes has information regarding Stephen's death.
Okay, so he says they're honing in. So a grand jury already convened, and he said less than 5 have information. So if you weren't even there and you have information, you're going to get in trouble at this point.
Roro causing Pawpaw. I mean, that's
Roro.
not Pawpaw.
It was Roro.
Buster reminds me so much of Alex. Yes, or Alec. This is what I think of when I see Buster.
So hot in her.
On Fox Nation in August of 2023.
Oh, that was his thing. Okay, I've got one more clip before we get back to our documents. How is this for On the Fly Live? Hey, give me a like.
Stand up.
Specific individuals, and I think there's about 5 or less
Oh, maybe I played
that
this.
SLED believes has information regarding Stephen's death.
Yeah, I did play that one, didn't I? Where's the one of the guy in the road? Hold on. He actually like reenacted it with a cartoon instead of. Hold on. Got it. Yes, Ohana, I agree. I think Pawpaw was like his mom and like sweet and kind, and I think that Alec, like, he pretty much brainwashed Buster because Buster was the firstborn. So he was automatically going to be the golden child. The heir, if you will. Okay, I think this is it. Again, this is from 48 hours, just about a week ago.
Vehicle or hanging off of the vehicle. Whenever it struck Stephen, he went down in this area, somewhat on this line.
So that's where Stephen was found. Like that.
Here, the vehicle that struck Stephen was coming toward him, just like that vehicle.
Okay, so see this reenactment here? This is how they put Stephen. Like, he was actually facing the vehicle. He was actually facing the vehicle when he was struck.
In the photograph.
Like this?
Yes, going that direction.
Kinsey says the evidence suggests the driver saw something in the road and changed lanes.
And sometime before it struck Stephen, I believe it changed into the oncoming lane.
Okay, so he's saying that the car was coming towards Stephen, like that one is, and then went into the lane, you know, closer to this lady, veered into the oncoming lane to like overcorrect. And that something hanging off the vehicle hit him. Now, they said it was not a baseball bat because the person who was holding the baseball bat would have like broken their arms. Like that would have injured the person. So I don't know what it could be, but it doesn't mean that someone overcorrected, in my opinion. It could simply be that someone set him up to be where he was and they got in that oncoming lane so that he would get hit with something. And I mean, how close do you have to get to somebody to hit them with their mirror? Why wouldn't he move out of the way? It doesn't make sense. Like, he'd have to be so close to that vehicle for the mirror to hit him in the head that why wouldn't he move? I mean, you think your automatic reflex would be to jump out of the way, even if you saw them at the last minute, if they didn't have their headlights on or something weird. But you'd still hear them out in the country. What the hell happened? How did he end up in the middle of the road with a bashed skull? With a bashed skull. No injuries on the other parts of his body. Shoes still on his feet, loosely tied. Phone in the pocket. Not damaged at all. Nothing makes sense. Like one blow to the head with what? Like a metal rod, or the bigger trucks have those bigger mirrors. Yeah. I mean, for him to get hit in the head, I don't remember how tall Steven was. But a regular truck, it'd have to be something pretty tall. Even if he's over 5'10", Facial injury was first and then the back of the head. So he's saying here, though, that the back of the head was from hitting the concrete or hitting the road. Dandy, you don't believe he was hit by a vehicle and dropped where he stood. I know. It's nuts.
That's when he says an object from the passenger side struck Stephen.
What kind of object could it be?
It could be anything. It could be a ladder hanging off the back of a work truck. It could be a extended side mirror, the metal type that you see on some farm vehicles or some larger vehicles.
That scenario matches up.
A metal type mirror on farm vehicles? What? In the middle of the night? He was almost 6 feet tall.
Tip from 2015 involving Patrick Wilson and Sean Connolly.
See, we just talked about Sean Connolly. Yeah, you're not just going to drop to the ground, right? Like, he had no injuries on below his head. And if you drop to the ground, it seems like you would have like other injuries, bruising. He had no bruising. He had no bruising to his body. How do you hit the concrete that hard that it smashes your head, but you have no injuries to your back? No injuries to any of your limbs? It doesn't make sense.
Vehicle or hanging off of the vehicle. Whenever it struck Stephen, he went down in this area, somewhat on this line here. The vehicle that struck Stephen was...
Okay, we watched that part. Let me make sure I showed you all the clips. I did. Okay. And this is that Sean Connolly and this Brendan guy. They look like little fuckers too, don't they? Little rich fuckers. Can't stand these people. Okay, let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming. That was just some brief updates for y'all. Okay, let's get back to the case file.
I mean, you have to add people, so.
Back to Potato.
Yeah, so clearly lying, and for what reason, I don't know. But then you kind of see like the investigators who were on the scene, like the traffic investigators, were like, this dude was not hit by a car. They were adamant about it. And then I just read a statement from one of the investigators. He had like a heated conversation with the coroner lady, and she was fired. She ended up being fired. She said, I'll make the report say whatever you want it to say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she got shit canned, but she was the one that was all sassy with him. He was like, why did you determine that he got hit by a car? And she's like, how did you determine he didn't? Because she goes, he was in the roadway. Like,
and that's the only reason.
She was on someone's payroll. It sounds like, I don't know, man. There's something wrong with that one.
Yep.
But
there's nothing to say that he was hit by a vehicle. No parts of a vehicle anywhere, no glass, nothing.
And he was like, how did you get to this conclusion? And she's like, because he was in the
on
road.
the road.
And he was like, that's the only thing that she came up with. She was fired, beat mommy. She gone. But she needs to be prosecuted because, she put this mother, she had a hand in putting this mother through literal hell for the past, how many years?
8.
Since 2015?
Yeah.
There should be a price to pay for that. That's messed up.
And also shutting down any kind of investigation into a homicide.
Right. I mean, everybody that lied should face charges. Like the guy that played football, him. I mean, even if he's not involved, you lie and you impede an investigation, I think you should face charges.
Yeah, definitely.
So, we were just going over the sled incident to see what they say. So, this is how they describe what happened. And I'll tell you who was on scene. Brittany Burke and James Talon. Do the chickens have large talons? And then Chief Gerald, Investigator Perry Singleton, and other personnel from HCSO. Coroner Ernie Washington and Deputy Coroner Kelly Green were also on scene from Hampton County Coroner's Office. Chief Gerald provided the following information: that the victim was located deceased in the middle of the roadway. Originally, HCSO had notified South Carolina Highway Patrol into this being a possible hit and run. And after further investigation, it was believed that the victim had been shot in the head. So this is all the initial scene discovery. During this crime scene investigation, photographs were taken by SLED. A copy of the crime scene photographs were mailed to Perry Singleton and Coroner Ernie Washington. So then this is where you have the rape kit, I guess. And there's no documentation saying why they did that. They don't include that in here. But it does say that it was done. And why would that have been done unless they initially thought that it could have been like a domestic, like a lover's thing or.
Yeah, maybe they were just trying to cover all bases, like in case he had been murdered and just dumped there. Like if he'd been killed somewhere else and dumped there.
I mean, if they were thinking he got shot in the head, it would make sense that they're going to cover all those bases to see if there was, some kind of, sexual assault or something like that on him. Because, I mean, you got to think about it, too. In the low country, they don't really like gay people too much.
Right.
So they could have thought maybe he was, tormented or hazed.
Roro calls him Pawpaw.
Because in the low country, they're a little bit, backwoods.
I don't know.
I just do that too well. That's a little scary. Maybe I was born in the low country. Okay, so then here is where he was found, out in the middle of frickin' nowhere. You can see that's like, I know you can't see it, but on YouTube you can. His car was 3 miles away, which makes zero sense that kid walked 3 miles. And then this is the position of him in the roadway. This is the drawing they did. I know it's sideways, but there we go. And there's a light pole right there. So there's woods on one side.
His phone records and stuff to see if he phoned anyone whilst he was stopped there.
It looks like they did request them from. She just said whilst. Verizon, I'm assuming they got them, but I haven't seen that yet. It might be down further. We just went through the warrant, so. Now this here is. Do you want me to share on our screen here so you can see it?
I can see it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Is that better? Is that good enough? Because I can share it in the other screen too if you want.
Either, whichever.
Well, then you don't have that lag.
Mm-hmm.
Let me share it. Okay, you should be able to see now what I'm doing.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, so it says here, this is the crime scene number, this is evidence 1 DVD containing crime scene photographs. So at least they have all this evidence, though. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here is this is James Talon III from SLED. On July 8th, 2015, at approximately 6:12, SLED was requested by Chief Billy Jarrell of the Hampton County Sheriff's Office. This basically says the same thing as the other guy that was notified as well. Possible hit and run, and then they said he had been shot in the head. The lead investigator from the Sheriff's Department is Perry Singleton. The victim's vehicle was a 2013 yellow Chevy Aveo. Upon arrival at 8:25, it was cloudy, an approximate temperature of 77 degrees. Chief Jarrell, an investigator Singleton, and several other personnel were on scene. Oh wow, they moved him. Okay. So agents arrived and met with Chief Jarrell, who provided the following additional information. EMS and SCHP arrived on scene. They placed orange paint on the roadway. An EMS worker stated that a projectile wound was located on the victim's head. SLED crime scene was then requested and SCHP departed the scene. The HCCO moved the victim prior to SLED crime scene's arrival. The scene was documented with digital photography by Burke and Talon. Upon entering the scene, agents observed that the scene was, make that bigger. The scene was secured by HCSO and had yellow barrier tape. The victim was covered with a sheet.
Talons.
After photographing the area, the sheet was removed. Injuries were noted on the victim's left arm, left hand, and head. That would be probably where he fell, right? Like, if he got hit and he fell down, that might be what was on his left arm and hand.
Mm-hmm. Well, they said his shoulder was dislocated as well.
Ooh, really?
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that there were injuries to his hand, though.
Left arm, left hand, and head. A hole in the skull was located above the victim's right eye. So, dude,
Mm-hmm.
if he was... So how the hell could that lady have justified a mirror hitting him above his right eye? What are they saying? That he turned to look at the car and the freaking mirror hit him above the right eye?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-mm.
And it would have to be a truck or something as well for that kind of height.
Yep. Wow.
And plus, if a wing mirror had hit him in the head, then there would have been glass or something from the wing mirror. Like, there would have been damage.
For sure. There would have been pieces of that mirror everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It is still unclear at this time if the hole was caused by a projectile. The victim's right arm was covered in blood, and agents were unable to see any injuries. Agents searched the area for cartridge cases. The search yielded negative results. The victim's hands were bagged. The coroner searched through the victim's clothing. The coroner located a vehicle key in the left pocket. This key was turned over to county personnel. No other evidence was located at the scene.
So his phone wasn't there. I thought his phone was in his pocket.
So did I. Prior to leaving the scene, agents discussed their findings, Okay, so then they responded to the vehicle 3 miles away at 9:20. After receiving a search warrant, agents searched the area and the vehicle. Foot impressions were observed. Now listen to this. This is rich. Footwear impressions were observed in the dirt near the driver's door. The responding officer's shoes were compared to these impressions by Burke and found to be consistent. Therefore, footwear impressions were not collected.
What?
Oh, we figured they were his, so we just didn't do it.
Roro causing Pawpaw. I mean, that's
Roro?
not-
Who was Roro?
It's Pawpaw.
I have a feeling some heads are going to be rolling soon. This is bad. The vehicle was parked off the roadway. The gas tank door was open and the gas cap was hanging on the side of the vehicle.
Papa.
And the vehicle doors were locked. Why would he open the gas can thing or gas cap and have the doors locked? Was he hoping somebody would come by and just like put gas in it for him?
Yeah. Yeah, you'd only open it if you were ready to put some in.
Yeah. Someone said earlier maybe he was doing it to alert other drivers, but I don't think there was any other driver. Like it was in the middle of nowhere, like country.
And would you even notice whilst driving past?
And where was he going? Nobody knows? That's never been said. Okay. Okay, so then they got in the car.
What time was it meant to have happened?
It was, God, like 5 in the morning. Like, well, that guy called 911 at like 6 in the morning on his way to work. I don't know what time.
So they don't know what kind of time it actually
happened. I don't know if that's ever been said. It might be in here somewhere down the line, but it says that they got in the car. They used the key to open the vehicle, and the vehicle was in park. The battery was functional, but the car wouldn't start. So they don't say if it was because it was out of gas. The vehicle was searched, and the only item was his wallet that was found. No other items were taken from the vehicle.
So his phone wasn't in the vehicle either.
Yeah, where's his phone?
It's got to have been somewhere because they had it.
Yeah, SLED had it.
Yeah.
It was determined that the wound in the victim's head was not caused by a fired projectile. The pathologist stated it appeared the victim was struck by a vehicle. Talon then contacted investigator Singleton and advised him that the SCHP would need to be contacted to investigate this incident further. So they transferred everything to the SLED Forensic Services Laboratory. So then Burke responded to Mulberry Street in Hampton in reference with meeting Sergeant Moore. Sergeant Moore provided documentation from the original crime scene and transferred the evidence. Yikes. Look at, here it is. Cellular phone.
So where did they find it?
Why is the brown wallet like crossed out?
I'm guessing what they weren't found in the same location. So was it in his pocket?
Maybe. I think
Because
it's all
that's what
fucked
they were
up.
saying.
Because there were so many
That's what they were
people there.
And they were saying that it didn't seem like he'd been hit by a vehicle because his phone was still in his pocket.
Yeah,
and
that
it
would have
wasn't
been
damaged or anything.
Right.
It would have flown out.
It would have flown out. And his shoes,
You
when you
get-
see the picture, his shoes were like skate shoes. You know, like how
Yep.
they were like wide and they have like that thick like tongue, and they were loosely tied so that you could just like slip your foot in them. If he got hit by a car, those would not have been on his feet. No way.
Nope. Because if you get hit by a car, then you're going to roll. Like, you're not just going to land on the road on your back. There's going to be other injuries from the road surface as well.
And depending
Especially
on
if he's wearing shorts.
And depending on speed, I mean, there might not be tire tracks because if someone doesn't brake, there's not going to be. But you would, depending on the speed, you would be thrown like in the air, like you would. And I hate that visual, but that's what happens. The force is so great. And I just don't believe that blue is from a car.
Well, they were saying that it was paint, but it could have been from a baseball bat or something.
They did mention that in these documents too.
Yeah.
Specifically a bat. So here's the statement, voluntary statement from Ronnie Capers, the guy that called, and he says, while going to work on Sandy Run Road about 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so it was 4 o'clock in the morning. I noticed white male laying down in the highway. I call 911. So that's that statement. And then here's the 911 from the accident scene with the call. All of that stuff. But now we're going to get down to some weirdness. Are you ready for that? You called in for the weirdness. I came here for the weirdness. Ooh-wee.
That will scare someone.
Ooh-wee, that will scare somebody. Far out.
I flashed and said, wow, pretty far out. I thought it was pretty far out.
All right, so that's all dispatch stuff. Okay, so what is this? Who went? Greg Cook, Brown, Logan Still, Demetrius Gilliard. Hampton Fire Department, that's all. 911 recording. There's 38 recordings. Why is there 38 recordings?
That's a lot.
Oh, all of the dispatch audio.
Oh.
Okay, so here's an incident report. Hampton Police Department took this from Marc Burkhart. Is it Bickhart or Burkhart? Who is 5'8". He's short. He was getting obscene and harassing calls. This is Stephen's alleged boyfriend. He says on 7/13 that Officer Long was dispatched to Marc's address. Upon arrival, he made contact with the listed victim in the yard. The victim informed officers he had been receiving phone calls from the Cayman Islands. The people that were calling his phone was threatening his life and stated that he was going to die like his friend. What? God almighty.
God almighty.
The victim then stated that the calls began last week after his friend's funeral. I have passed the victim's information onto the sheriff's office. Yikes.
So that was July, and he stopped taking calls from law enforcement in August. So maybe that's why he wasn't wanting to talk to them anymore, because he was being threatened.
And there's more. Detailed statement of investigation. On the listed report, the friend that the victim references to is the Stephen Smith. At this time, Captain Russell has been informed that the victim wishes to provide information in reference to the incident. The number that has been calling the victim is blank. The calls informed the victims that he would die on the same day Smith did. And the victim believes that his death was a homicide. The victim has also been followed by Smith's mother around town, and she has informed people that the victim is responsible for her son's death. Major Bolton was notified about the incident and will turn over the victim's information to the Hampton County Sheriff's Office. Thoughts? His mom.
Well, it makes me wonder if someone had been talking to his mom and trying to imply that he was the reason.
Trying to focus her attention on him.
Because Randy Murdo had said that when he was offering his services and stuff, he'd pointed things at someone else as well. So they weren't just offering services, they were trying to imply that it was someone else who had murdered him.
So they were setting this whole thing up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me.
And that would explain why he wouldn't call back. Because if I had these people calling me from the Cayman Islands saying I was going to die like he did, I wouldn't talk either. I'd be scared.
And calling from the Cayman Islands as well, that's someone trying to cover their tracks.
And someone with money, right?
Yeah.
Yikes. So here's the actual rape kit thing. It actually says rape kit. But I don't think it has the results. It's so fucking sad, man. So all they got was the kit, the shorts, the shirt,
That's potatoes,
and his
pipes,
shoes.
by the way.
And then Jennifer signed this. Jennifer Aycock was the forensic technician. This is the original report again. What's this? Okay, we haven't read this part yet. Detective Singleton received a call at home from Sergeant Smith with the sheriff's office requesting his assistance. He responded, and upon his arrival, he was met by Corporal Bridges, who informed him that around 4 a.m., they got a 911 call to a person laying in the highway. Once there, Bridges realized the person was deceased and mentioned that one Ronnie Capers Jr. reported this to 911. Detective Singleton, went up to take a look at the body and noticed a slender-build white male on the highway with khaki shorts and a white polo shirt. Sled crime scene was called to process the scene. The deceased had on his person one cellular phone and a car key. There you go. Highway Patrol later located the deceased person's vehicle. The vehicle was in a Chevy Aveo. A wallet was found with a picture ID of the deceased male in the wallet. not to scale. Oh, this is the drawing that they did. Oh, God, this is a lot. Okay, so this is... Who wrote this? Oh, this is from the same guy, this detective. Okay, so Corporal Allen called me back to advise the mate team was en route. He left his residence and headed to the scene. I'm just going to kind of break this down because it's a lot. He got there at 6:25 and observed a white male in the roadway on the center line with head trauma to the right side of his brow. I spoke with Hampton County Coroner Ernie Washington, who immediately advised me it was a homicide. He pointed out the wound to be a gunshot wound and showed me the entry point. Assistant Coroner Kelly Green then began to show me photographs they took, again, pointing to the entry point and a defensive wound to the hand. Potato.
A defensive wound?
Oh, yikes.
I mean, that would tell me that he was being attacked.
Yeah. So it makes sense why they did the kit, because it could have been like a domestic. Poor Steven. All right. So then they said, I asked for clarity if they were sure it was a homicide, and their response was yes. I then advised we no longer needed the mate team. I asked if our assistance was needed, and I was told no. They were just waiting on SLED. I walked the scene and saw no evidence of any car parts or pieces, and then had all units clear the scene. At approximately 16:15,
Hi, Janice Burns.
I was called by Rowell, who advised Sheriff T.C. Smalls called him and advised an autopsy was conducted and that no bullet was found, and it was determined to be a hit and run. You know, T.C. Smalls retired too. I've seen an interview with him on this when they were talking Murdaugh murders. He was old. He's been there for a long time. I immediately called Sheriff Smalls blank to clarify the issue. He advised me that the doctor was ruling it a motor vehicle accident and they were turning it over to us. I asked if he was the lead investigator, and he advised me Perry Singleton was and gave me his phone number.
It's even worse that she ruled it a hit and run when he had defensive wounds on his hand. Like, how can she get to that point?
I don't know. There was a good old boy system going on in here, I think.
Definitely sounds like it.
And it was torn apart. I hope they all face charges. This is sickening. So listen to this. He calls Singleton and asks for any notes, and he said he was not at his desk and would call me back in 30 minutes. And then he called Ernie Washington and asked him if that was his ruling. And Washington stated he would have to go with the doctor's ruling. I then reminded him earlier that they said they were certain it was a gunshot. And he told me he had to go by the opinion of the doctor. Wow.
Gosh.
Wow. And this guy's like, dude, you said you were certain, like, without a doubt. I asked him where the body was at, and he stated he had taken it to Rodin Funeral Home, so that's why they went there. See, they were told, we don't need you at the autopsy. You don't need to be here. Wow. Okay, so check this out. I asked him what time and who, and they notified the mother and father, Joel and Sandra, at their home, and that they requested he be taken to this funeral home. I called the funeral home and spoke with Gordon Rodin, blank. I asked him if he had the clothing the deceased was wearing so we could pick it up, and he stated it was in a paper bag with the body. What? In a paper bag with the body. I asked him to immediately stop whatever preparations they were making to the body and cover him up, and we would come get the clothing. Holy hell. I wonder who paid for the funeral. Wonder if that was Murdaugh at all.
Yeah.
He agreed to do so, and Rowell picked up the clothing. And then he called Lieutenant King and advised him what was occurring, and he told me to make some phone calls and get back to me. I immediately called back Ernie Washington and asked for the name and phone number of the doctor who conducted the autopsy. I was given her number and called a Dr. Aaron with AA Presnell, and it's a girl, to try and understand what brought her to that decision. She said it was not a gunshot wound and no bullet or fragments were found during the x-ray, and that it didn't look like a bullet wound in her opinion. And since he was bound in the roadway, she could only theorize that it had to be a motor vehicle that caused the death. I asked if he had any other injuries, and she stated a partial dislocated right shoulder. I asked her if she found any glass fragments or any other evidence of a motor vehicle, and she said no. I then asked why she was ruling it as a motor vehicle accident and what she thought caused the head injury. She told me it was not her job to figure it out. It was mine. I then tried calling Lieutenant Singleton back since she had not returned my phone call, and all I got was his voicemail, or since he had not returned my phone call. I then hung up and called Sheriff Smalls. So we're back to Smalls to see if he could get me the information they had, and he stated he'd call me right back. After not hearing back from him as well, I called him back and got his voicemail. Wow. I then called Corporal Rowell to see if he was in Hampton, and he advised he was on his way back from Bamberg. I told him to go by the scene and make sure the body had been marked and to start looking for any vehicle debris. He called back and said he could find no debris at all. I then called Altman and told him when he came back to the scene to look for any vehicle debris. He called back stating he could find nothing. I then told him to go out to the scene and sit from 3 to 5 to document what kind of traffic was moving that time of the morning. King said he called me back at 1928 hours and advised Brock with the mate team would be calling me to see if I could get in touch with someone from SLED. I spoke with Brock and explained the entire scenario. He advised me to have someone go to the scene and look for debris. I told him I already had someone on the scene, and he said he'd have Booker call me shortly. I spoke with Booker and he explained the scenario. We decided to meet at the funeral home in Hampton and asked if SLED could meet us there as well. I told him I would find out which agents were there and try to set it up. I called Agent Jeff Croft with SLED, whom I knew, to see if he could find out which agents came to the scene that morning. He called me back with the name and phone number of Brittany Burke. Called her at 20:22 hours, and she stated she and Trey Talon were called out at 6:10 at the request of the Hampton County Sheriff's Office regarding a homicide. She stated they arrived around 9 o'clock and looked at the wound and didn't think it was a gunshot wound. She stated they told the sheriff and coroner they didn't believe it was a gunshot wound. She told me they were adamant it was a gunshot wound, so they mapped the scene and began to gather evidence as they would normally do. She stated that they found a smartphone and car keys in the deceased's right pocket. I thought it was his left pocket. The phone was undamaged, but could not get it to work. Oh, what a surprise.
Tampered with.
They also located the vehicle undamaged, but could not get it to work. They went through the vehicle and found the wallet and the gas cap was off. They also found engine oil in the vehicle and believed that it had vehicle trouble because they could not get it to start. Since he was found between the vehicle and his residence, they believed he was walking home when the incident occurred. She also advised me they went to the autopsy along with Coroner Kelly Green, and the doctor confirmed it was not a gunshot. At that point, they left. I asked if she could come to the funeral home the next morning, and she stated she would have to ask her supervisor and call me back. She called back and said she'd be there and bring all her notes and photos. God, there's a lot. I'm just looking to see if this is like repetitive.
How fast is home from where his car was?
I don't know. Where's his address? We're almost to the end of the thing. I know his address was in here in the beginning. We were on page 100. Let's see. Oh, it was on his driver's license thing, I think.
Casey, his car keys were in his pocket.
Yeah, in the beginning they said it was the left pocket, and now they're saying that the phone and the key were both in the right pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm confused on that. And we're going to look at these photos in a minute that were in the Daily Mail.
Oh, God, yeah. I was shocked when I saw them.
Yeah. But it gives you insight as to how he was laying in that road, and it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It definitely puts it into perspective.
It's bad. I just hope they can get some justice for him.
I think it's terrible that it's taken Alex's murder's trial for it to even come to this.
Right. Well, it took,
like, if that hadn't have happened, would anything have happened with
probably
his case?
not. Probably not.
Mm-mm.
And that's what's so scary about the good old boy systems in these small towns is that how long do these things go undetected? You know, if nothing ever happens and nothing ever changes, well, no one ever knows.
Nope.
I can't find his address offhand, but if someone can find it and map like how far he was away from home, I know they have it in here because they said they went to go visit his mom. Let's take a look. So they have Mr. Burkhart's screenshots in here as well, which was interesting because I just got done saving them. When I saw his name, I went to his Facebook and saved him, and then I'm like, oh my God, they're in this report. Okay, so check this out. There is a farmer they talked to. Let's see. We went to the scene. Okay, hold up. They talked with the family at the scene, and they were told by the family that their son was gay, and they did not know of any enemies. After a discussion with Lieutenant Singleton stated a log truck may have struck him. Who was the guy that worked for the log company? The one that knew Murdaugh? That's weird. They specifically said a logging truck. Let's see. The wallet was left with Lieutenant Singleton. He was advised to return it to the coroner's office. Sled was going to retrieve the information on the phone, and they went to McMillan Farms on the same road and spoke with Mr. McMillan, who runs the farm. That sounds like a typical farm. Mr. McMillan. He advised there wasn't any damage or evidence, and they asked if they could look at his trucks. He had a few seed trucks, but we did not see any damage or evidence of body fluid or blood. Mr. McMillan said his trucks weren't running at this particular time since there was no grain to haul. After we left McMillan Farms, Corporal Rowell was advised to ride the area to look for farming or log trucks, and I went to Bobcat Landing, where the deceased had supposedly hung out the night before swimming. I did not see anyone there out of the ordinary. That's the first I've heard of where he was. Bobcat Landing. Yeah, if he was hit by a log, well, that's why I think why they're saying the mirror, because they're making it sound like it wouldn't have been so extreme as like a truck hitting you. But I agree. He was not hit by a car or a truck or any of the matter, or a motorcycle or nothing. Bobcat, let's see how far that is from where the car was. Bobcat. So he was swimming. I wonder with who? Buster? Now this makes a whole different thing. Was there like a party at Bobcat Landing? What's the deal with that? So the address, let's go back up, is 5874. And what's the name of that road? Sandy something?
Sandy Lane.
Sandy Lane. Thank you. Thank you. So 5874 Sandy Lane is where the car was. Or no, that's where his body was. 5874 Sandy Lane. And that's Brunson, South Carolina, right? No. Because that's 40 minutes away. That can't be right. Jefferson? There's several. No, Jefferson's even further. Now I'm confused. Maybe he was that far away. Maybe Bobcat Landing is that far away. See, I don't know where they were. I didn't follow that close enough to ever have mapped where the Murdaws are from.
Sandy Run Road in Hampton County.
Oh, Sandy Run Road. Is that Sparta? It's not giving me a county. It's Sparta, Georgia.
Wait, hold on.
There's like so many Sandy Run roads in South Carolina. I think I found it though. 48 minutes. I think I got it. Let me pull it up here. Okay, so that's what I pulled up. For that seems doable, like 50 minutes, approximately 40 minutes away. So he was swimming there. I wonder who the hell he was with. Here's Hampton, South Carolina. But that's the first I've heard of him swimming.
I can't see.
It's on It's on YouTube. It'll pop up in a sec. Let's look here. This is like a river or something. This is where they were. Or he was. Let's drop our little dude down. This is where he was swimming. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This is like a big spot here. Interesting. You guys see that? Can you see it now, Potato?
Yep.
What do you think of Bobcat Landing? It's pretty desolate, huh?
It's all in the middle of nowhere, isn't it?
Literally in the middle of nowhere. And he was there swimming.
I want to know with who as well.
Same. I mean, look at this. This is in the middle of nowhere. There's hardly any traffic either. And there's Bobcat Landing. So he was swimming there the night of, or what? I don't understand. All right, let's go back to our docs. Our dockies. Oops. All right, so what are you thinking, Potato? Are you thinking that... What are you thinking happened? I mean, obviously, like, he tried to defend himself, right?
I think he was attacked, and I think it was covered up.
God, do you think that somebody messed with his car so that he broke down and had to get out? Could it have been that deep?
Or messed with it afterwards so that it wouldn't start. Like, made it seem like
he
was out
down.
of his vehicle because he'd broken down.
I don't know, man. That's really scary. So listen to this. Here's another little breadcrumb. The Corporal Rowell and Duncan spoke with the family of Stephen, and they advised he had an iPad and a laptop, and he was using at least one alias, Noah Rivers, to go into homosexual chat rooms. They agreed to turn that over to be analyzed, and a warrant was obtained for those items to take to SLED. They also interviewed a subject in his 40s who was supposedly the boyfriend of the deceased and believed there was foul play, but his story was inconsistent and he was asked to take a polygraph by the MATE team. He stated he would do so, but that has yet to be arranged. And then Stephanie Smith sent an email, and the email she sent was about Marc. Some people told me they saw this on Marc Bickhart's Facebook page, even though it was in March. I took a look for myself, and here are all the screenshots. Now, these are really hard to read, but because he doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but these are the screenshots. And We're going to try to read through them in just a second, but I'm going to show you guys some more pictures too. I want to pull up. So this is the alleged boyfriend's screenshots that the sister turned in. But first I want to show you what the Daily Mail released. Where are those? Hold up. Is this it? Oh no. This is his I love you so much post. It's been 4 months now that I have not held you, hug you, or kiss you and said I love you in person. Heard your voice. It's been 4 months. The hell? Love you, Steven. So was he with him that night? I wonder. It's weird. But then the Murdaugh thing, you can't deny that there's weird connections with the Murdaughs.
Yeah.
Too many mentions.
Yeah, right from the very beginning as well. People mentioning their name, the fact that they were there at the scene, Randy and whoever, I can't remember who else it was. Alex?
And Randy calling the family, like, get out of here with that. And the Daily Mail is calling him Buster Murdaugh's friend, but Steven's mom clearly said they weren't friends. They just went to school together. She said that in an interview. And she said in an interview she didn't think it was him, which was really crazy to me.
Interesting.
She said no.
See, that's what makes me think that she'd been talked to.
Yeah, because she said,
warned off.
I never believed it was them. She said, I think they had ulterior motive, but I don't think it was because they were involved in the death. So maybe she was thinking, oh, they just want to represent me and, get some money off me, whatever. But, I mean, the fact that they were calling before her and her husband even identified Steven.
Yeah, I mean, that's soon.
I mean, that's sick. And I get that they're, on the inside and they probably get this information that things happened first. And that's how they pounce on people. But it just seems odd. I don't know why I can't move my screen. I can't move this thing over. I'm frozen. Okay, so these are the photos that were released, and they're gruesome. I mean, you can't really see a whole lot, but you can clearly see that he was not hit by a car.
He looks like he's just been dropped there.
So he had defensive wounds on which arm? Was it the arm right or left?
Left, I think it was.
Yeah,
Blood on his right arm, but no injuries on that one. Yeah, so it was the left.
And he's kind of laying on his left as well. I wonder if he was left-handed.
Yeah.
I know it is really sad, Black Knight, that this didn't, like you said earlier, come to light until, the Murdaughs had a death. Multiple deaths, rather. But that's just the first. This is from HBO Max. Why was this in the HBO Murdaugh thingy documentary? I haven't seen that one yet. Because I heard there's one on HBO. And this photo is from HBO. So I wonder if they talk about it. These are all from HBO. Look at how he's right on that line. Oh, potato, that makes me sick.
I know, it's horrible.
I know, it makes my stomach turn too. Oh, God, that's awful. You guys, oh, fuck. I didn't see this one, potato. Potato. I didn't know this was in there. Oh, you guys.
I told you the pictures are horrible.
Holy. Oh, I can't take it. That kid was not hit by. Oh. God. Dude, those shoes would not have been on his feet.
No.
And look at, they're all dirty. Like, sandy type. Like, I bet that's from where he was swimming.
Mm-hmm.
And he had shorts on. There is no way he would be in this condition hit by a car.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Smith's body was found in the middle of a quiet road. Police say it looked like he had been dropped there. Like someone opened the fucking door and just dropped him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Poor,
That's exactly
poor
what it
guy.
looks like.
Poor guy. And I'm just not so sure that, I mean, what if the Murdaws are involved? What if Buster's in the dark? But
Yeah, he could be.
he could be. I mean, his family is pretty crooked. Like, I don't think that Alex is going to tell them everything because you have too many people knowing stuff. That's when you get busted. That is just horrific, Potato. Horrific. Okay, so I think that what was going on here with Marc Burkhart or whatever, I think that he was, being accused by the Smiths. So I think he started posting about the sister is what happened here. So he says to Stephen Nicholas, Mess twin sister and the Mess sister, what the Mass husband, that's the North for the Hampton police. What? Are the Hampton sheriff? I would watch your backs. You killed your own brother. You killed the goonest person in the whole world that nurtured everybody and cared about everybody. He's accusing the family?
But in March, though. Why is he posting this in March?
I don't know.
Like, what is it about?
No matter what background, ethnic background, religion, creed, or anything, because needed money to run your little drug deal. Take me. I'm back and forth for your metal body to have a cookhouse. I got the evidence to put yours away. I got everything. And play. I know everything that you girls tire or did. I'm not saying that would happen. Proof that you were there. Proof that you tampered with the body. Proof that you stole his wallet for the money. And proof that you took money. Proof evidence that you also took money and wanted him to come to a sugar daddy. And he told you the cops are Bolivia and belligerent not to look at my evidence. But one day you girls will get court and your little husband is going to get caught. If not, my boys are going to take care of and have an ethnic background killing throughout the Smith family. So my feeling to Steven's sister, Ben's sister, boy toy, and Steven's twin sister's girlfriend, any other sister that's an addict and a drunk and a cunt and a bitch and a whore with her drug buddies. What?
Oh my God.
That are the Mathers bringing a baby, bring it, eyeball, burn you bitches, and how you got shit that Steven had, and he weighed doing better than the whole fucking family, and you just couldn't, don't even know what the fuck you're doing. Nani could even go to college, then you killed your fucking father?
What?
But I believe putting math in something he had. Oh, I believe putting meth in something he had, which raced his heart. You're a bunch of Confederate racist bigots, and it killed your own brother because you need money to run your drop teen. I just Forest Tire or the little fucking cunt that free-walled South for everybody. So now you got no little brother. And I would watch your back because everybody knows that the other sister's husband is a narc. And Steven and even Joel Snack told me that they had talk cunt bitch arrested. Your days are numbered. I know for a fact your days are numbered. The cops now, they're numbered. And I'm telling you, real plain white, they're numbered. You're cold-blooded, heartless calories that killed your own brother. What a piece of shit. You don't fucking know nothing. You're a cunt, wires, corn artist. Stevens even said, I love my litter sister with all my heart and soul. But the one thing I can't stand about her, and I just cannot be around her at times, she cannot help herself with habitually all yang. She's honest, unworthy, and I'm not trustful with anything. I cannot trust her with anything at all, but I love her to death. I wish you would get help. You fucking killed your own brother, you bitch. What your conk of your other sister that wrecked Steven's car by running what drugs in it, because I even know he told me. And not husband. Fuck the car up the rest of the way. I know everything about use Tess Gosney as the fifth Smith family. You make every person in the world vomit. Adventurate the cops. I'm going to have the evidence and you're going to be arrested. I'm being very patient with that because every time I want to go out and take care of his stuff with Tess, I hear in the back of my head, baby, why Dippy? Let the cops handle it. Let the cops handle it. It ain't worth it. He never wanted me upset. He loved me. He cared about me. And I'm going to tell you what, there ain't nothing in the world that's going to happen to me until I see you paid for what you did to your brother and anyone else that was involved in this. I know who you are. I know everybody that was involved in his deck. I know what happened. I know it happened. I know when it happened. I know where it happened. I pray for years, and I pray that the cops grow some balls and come talk to me in a timely fashion before I could hold my and then a family back, because I'm having a hard time holding the Jersey boys back because they are my family. When I can't and they come to Hampton, there's going to be an ethnic cleansing throughout town. Until they get anybody that your friends are going to fucking be, what if my family comes and now that Big Heart family, the Jersey boys, Gigi's crying, the Mexican mafia, the Italian mafia, you people as the Smith family killed the one thing that a lot of people loved, and that was the angel. I'm getting anxiety reading this. He has no periods whatsoever. He had the eyes of the OSU, no blue, was little boy diva. He's looking down and he loves the ones that cared about him as far as his family. He was you, but I know deep in my heart, he hopes that you get help. And I pray to God you get help, because you're one sick motherfucking bitches. And that man, and the man that killed him, you ain't nothing but a piece of shit that ain't worth it. He was just saying the sister did it. Now he's saying a man.
Mm-hmm.
You're just jealous that he was doing better than the rest of the shit in that town. That's why you can do better than the rest, DS, and you are jealous and you needed his money. And when he was leaving us that night and never coming back, yes, had to take care of things. But what you forgot about was his boyfriend, not his sugar daddy, what you call me, because I'm one mean motherfucking cunt and I'm one motherfucking bitch that's going to make sure the cops even handle this, or you don't want me to handle it, because my way to handling it is Ernie is what battery acid and cut finger by finger toe by towel as I'm throwing acid and battery acid and saw Tanya loans and what the fuck going to go down like that, sis, is Anna. Tell your body just can't take it anymore. I'm gonna start. Wait, where am I? I'm gonna start. Oh my God, I am so lost. It's like it's like a repeat. I'm gonna start. Got me is alive. Best to turn yourselves into cops, because the GG brought the GGs that the mafia doubt. Marc got Les and Heartless, and I am, because they know who he was, and I know who his boyfriend was, and they will back me any day, anytime, any place. By the way, your little neck deal. Do you know who Coco Grandma is? Oh, she is. She don't like Matt. I don't care and talk to the Mexican mafia. You people going to have a problem, and that may be my next game. I want the Mexican mafia to take care of it rather than get my hands dirty. Did you say fucking worth it? Have a good day, bitches of the Smith family. LOL. Days are numbered. They are counting Wachovia backs at the Exxon station. Watch over your backs at Rena Center. Ha ha. What? Dude.
Well done for getting through all of that.
I'm never going to be the same.
That was insane.
I will never be the same person again.
My
Never.
God.
Good Lord above.
What even was that?
I think he used text to speak and it's all messed up.
Uh-huh.
Weird. I got some.
That's just some crazy ranting.
I got some more craziness for you, though, from him. So we're going to take a look at his other post that I found. Here is Marc Bickhart on August 28th, 2018. How is everyone tonight? In South Carolina, in Hampton. Getting ready for bed and to start a new day. Ending sober and clean pushing for 45 months. Welcome, Miss Robin. Miss Robin just became a member of the Tinfoil Hat Club.
Whoop, whoop.
There's something going on with my screen, though, that I cannot move any of my windows. I don't know if I've frozen it or what, but it's really strange. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Now you can see him. What?
True Crime with Eve says, can you run that by us again? I didn't quite understand.
No such luck, Eve. I'll come over to your channel later when you're reading it. You can decipher it. I read it as is. God, that was tough, man. Like, I don't think I'll ever be the same person. This guy used to live in Florida, so he says, goodbye to Florida. Good riddance. I am now in Georgia, headed my way into Georgia. And this is 2018. So this is after Stephen died.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well after. And there he is driving. Sorry, this is all kind of messed up. My screen is not behaving today. This one says up in the Poconos. This one bothered me. I was like, why is he in the Poconos? No! Up in the Poconos looking for a place and enjoying my time up here. I have some video and some pictures I'm going to post of a dam and driving in the snow. So he's all over the place. And then here he is again. I showed this one earlier. Much older than Steven, which is a little bit disturbing, I would say. No wonder he didn't talk about his boyfriend much. Here's another one of him in 2017. And he has all this still on his page. Like, it's not deleted. I don't know why. Eve says, fair.
They're asking who it is.
Who, this guy?
Yeah.
Marc Bickhart. This is Steven's alleged boyfriend. Is that what they're wondering?
Mm-hmm.
He is listed in the court documents. And so I found him on Facebook. To my boyfriend. Steven, I miss you more in my more than ever than before. However, kill ya. They don't not what they take for ya and family and boyfriend. I hope they get or brought to justice. You all the Lewis dumb piece of crap on earth I have ever seen. Makes no fucking sense.
He needs to stop using text to talk.
This dude
It's
needs
not working for him.
Yeah, he needs to stop creeping on 19-year-old boys.
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
Yeah, gross.
What the hell is wrong here? He says the cop I have ever seen, and when the cops get you, you're going to get your own in jail. I got help because I know there are not too many people who will turn yourself in. If you are any human being, you just was heartless piece of shit. Comes around, goes around. When it comes back around and bite you, be there when you're arrested and tried and convicted of Stevens mobile murder and killing. Stevens mobile murder and killing. These people are the ones that like the post. Here's another post of him. This is Potato's favorite. My penis is my favorite toy.
My God.
Gross.
Whatever floats your boat, I guess.
You saw that, you're like, what is that?
Yeah, it's just as I came on. It's like, what are you looking at?
And two.
I actually thought it was an advert.
Unreal.
I know you get some weird adverts on your stuff.
Yeah, sometimes. That would be par for the course. Oh my gosh. So he says, the love of my life had that written and put it on my Facebook. He was trying to tell me that I was a real cranky bitchy and I needed to get laid. Rest his soul. If it walks like a bitch, looks like a bitch, sounds like a bitch, talks like a bitch, 9 times out of 10, it's a dude. Lisa says Steven had an escort ad on Craigslist. Yikes.
I'm guessing that's where it all came from then, that he was leading a double life. If he had an alias and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was on Craigslist.
And they did confirm that he used that alias.
Mm-hmm.
Says, today my boyfriend Stephen Nicholas Smith would have been 20 years old. Someone bought and took his life on the back roads to Hampton, South Carolina on July 8th. It was the most caring, loving man I ever knew. It's so sick that this guy sees him as a man. He's a kid. He's 19. Loving, caring man.
Were they even in a relationship?
Right. Was
or
this guy just like obsessed?
One-sided?
Right.
Yeah.
Was he like obsessed with him and moved there?
Yeah, because he moved.
That's really weird.
Is there anything from Stephen to say that he was in a relationship with him? Like, what has his mom said?
Well, his mom, remember, was going around town accusing him.
Mm-hmm.
He got mad. I ever knew he cared for everyone and anyone, and he didn't care what Walco wife you came from, what walk of life you came from. So he cared about, and he didn't care about himself, what he was going through. The day he would call and make sure you're okay from his family and friends and me. Happy birthday, Stephen. I will never forget you, and I will always love you. Welcome, True Crime with Eve. This guy is...
Kind of makes me wonder if he got in contact with Stephen through his ads and stuff. And then, like, became obsessed with him.
Could he be a suspect?
Was he one at any point? I know they said that his story was inconsistent and they were going to do a lie detector, but did they actually do one at any point?
I don't think so.
Because
it wasn't in, I mean, if they did, it wasn't in there.
That's not good. He doesn't sound like he's in his right mind.
No. Wait, this is weird. He says, you know, life really sucks. What I gotta live life on life's terms, but I know it could be a lot worse if I was out there drinking and using. But I could tell you why am there. I miss my boyfriend Steven. This has been the hardest year of my entire 47 years with anything, and I miss him so much. And so the person that did this, they need to have mercy on your soul. Because right now, you talk to the most beautiful thing from so many of us. Stephen Smith, I hope you're up there with no hurt and no one could do anything to you anymore. Looking down at our 4 boys and me, but his socks and you not being here as being a selfish, I love you so much. It's been 4 months now that I have not held you, hug you, kiss you, said I love you in person, heard your voice. It's been 4 months. The hell? Love you, Steven. I think I'm going to need like a Xanax after this.
His post when he said that he had been clean for 45 months, was that in 2018 as well?
I think so.
So that would be like 3 years and 9 months that he was clean.
Dude, this is really disturbing too.
So is he not clean around the time that he knew Steven?
I I don't think so. He doesn't sound like it. So look at this, though.
Mm-mm.
This is a week after Stephen died. He posted a picture of this kid. I have no idea who it is. It says, I think someone was looking for this young man. Let me on. I have seen him. What?
What the heck? That kid looks really young.
Uh-huh. This dude needs to be brought in and interrogated.
Yeah. Yeah, something's not right there.
Look at this. My boyfriend is Stephen Nicholas Smith. You are missed by so many. Your family, this is right after July 13th. Your father, your mother, your brothers, your sisters, your nieces, your nephews, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, and most of all, me. I met you and we both fell in love, and immediately I moved to Hampton to be with you. What the heck? St. Petersburg? What? Stop it right now. Stop. Oh, abort. Don't tell me this dude lives down here now. He says, Stephen, you broke the mold, and all your friends and family will agree with me on all this. You were up in heaven looking down on us every day, but it's hard. You're not here to be with us, but that's being selfish. Your young life was cut short, and we were going to get married, me and you. That was our plan. When you graduated, you, me, and my son wanted to move where you wanted to go, St.
His son?
Petersburg, Florida. Yes.
He has a son.
He said he had 4 boys looking down.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what he said in his other post. Our 4 boys looking down. What the fuck?
What
Is he killing
heck?
multiple boys?
Oh my god.
Oh god, I just got a dizzy spell. Ah!
Oh my gosh.
My heart is bleeding. I don't know that I could ever love again, but life must go on. The world must go around. It is not easy, but it has to keep going. We know you're looking down. I love you with all my heart and soul and my flesh. I will always have you in my heart. January 29th, 1996 to July 8th, 2015. Too close to home. V Slims. Oh, Tracy wants to know how to become a member. I think it's join. Can't remember when I made it over here. Tracy V, my girl. See if those work. Oh, wait. This is the screenshots I took of that. Oh, my God. This guy is something
wrong
else. I am shooketh. And this has
Yeah,
been
I
a
really
long
don't-
time, Potato. Like,
Uh-huh.
this has been
I really do not think they had a real relationship. I think
You're-
he was delusional.
oh, my goodness. So could he have followed Stephen, you know?
Mhm.
Because check
If
this
he was that
out.
obsessed and he was rejecting his advances or something, I mean,
Dude,
that happens.
he's got some bad posts. Like, there's so many. Hold on. Here's another one where
Worse
he
than
moves.
we've already seen.
He moves.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it. Look at this. On another note, the governor of South Carolina and all the diplomats and all the high-end people of the state, I'm calling you to do something because it doesn't seem like you have a grip on your own police departments. The FBI, Hampton County Police, Hampton Sheriff, or the Highway Patrol Hampton, and it doesn't seem like the governor, her cabinet, or anybody in government and South Carolina tagging, and nobody does any that is ashamed to live in the United States. This stuff going on about this type of stuff. Even the kids growing up in school are getting hazed because they're bisexual, gay, LBTG. Is that what it is? LBTG? I think that's wrong. LBGTQ, right?
Mm-hmm.
LBTG, I don't see where you're really doing a lot because the hazing is going on. The hatred against gays and everything in the state of South Carolina is still going. Murders are going on and nothing is getting done against us. I am not going to close my eyes and tell his family if the cops and the FBI don't grow some tits or balls, then I will personally have to take care of business for myself. First name and what they're going to be brought to justice. I went to Stephen's grave site. I told him that his cowards will be brought to justice, whether the punk ass FBI or the punk ass cops do something. I will make sure it gets done. Wrong. Get your asses together and do something and stop kissing the Smith family's ass and licking that pussy, bitches.
Oh my God.
Cops and FBI, grow some fucking balls and do your jobs, because I'm going to be breathing down your motherfucking backs. Tell your dad I will bring everybody heat until this case is done. What are you fucking, like it or not? And I don't fucking care if people like what the fuck I'm saying. You could lick my little man pussy and go fuck off while you're at it.
Fucking fuzzy slippers and lip gloss.
That deserves a what?
I did a fucking fuzzy slippers and lip gloss. People didn't understand my post. My brother doesn't like me being gay. He is a racist bigot. Want to come to the gays. My sister is a lesbian, and he approves all that in general. My boyfriend, Stephen Nicholas Smith, was killed on July 8th. It seems like the FBI can't get their shit together. If you call there, all you get is a bunch of bullshit. You call the Highway Patrol. They don't have nothing on his case. You call Crime Stoppers. They don't even know about the case. We are not crap as gay as we are loving, caring people. Stephen was nurturing, caring, loving person. He even nurtured animals back to health. He was going to be a trauma nurse in Orangeburg Technical College. He was making a better life for himself and us, me and the kids. And this seems like in Hampton, they don't want a hate crime out, and they don't want to know that his own family killed him. Family is messed, are in more things. They are racist bigots against every black something. Dude, this is messed up. Where's the one where he says he moved, though?
Are there any comments on any of these posts?
You know, I don't know. I showed the ones that liked the one that I looked at. There's like one like. Yeah, not very. No, I mean, there's really no engagement on his posts.
I think that says a lot.
Yeah, you're probably right. The ones that are liking it is probably him. See, here's the three that like Deborah Jenkins, Jan Smith. Funny how it's the name Smith and Tracy Calloway. Let's see. There's one where he moves though. He's like, I can't stand being. Look at this. I have finally gotten some relief. This is in August of 2015. I finally gotten some relief from everybody letting, maybe so I can grieve a little bit over Stephen dying. We know whoever did this. I feel Stephen knew. I have a hard time. Ooh, I feel Stephen knew. I have a hard time with this. We knew each other as a couple for over a year and a half. To the person that did this to Stephen, the family.
A year and a half.
Yeah, and now he's speaking for the family. The family
When
and
he
me want
was
justice. He was just
So when Stephen was 17 and a half.
Ew.
Yeah.
He was putting
And
college
he's
to
what,
make
in
a
his
better
40s?
life for himself and be somebody. Not that he wasn't somebody. To take him from everybody was atrocious. Whoever did this is gutless, heartless, and soulless. And you will have your day. I will not stop until you get justice. Will be served by the police in the court system, or it will be another way. But I will tell you, whatever these people are, a person is, you have a better chance at anything. If the cops get, God have mercy on your motherfucking soul. This dude's fucked up. Alcohol, drugs, mental illness. Look at this. It's been a month today that my boyfriend has been killed on the back roads to Hampton. Cops are not saying much. They have a lot of leads and a lot of things going on. If anyone knows who killed my boyfriend, Mr. Stephen Nicholas Smith, please come forward. I beg you to come forward. Call the captain at the Hampton Sheriff's Department. See, he's telling them to call the cops, but then he's like, You pussies.
Yeah. Grow some balls. Is he still active on his Facebook now?
You know, I don't think he is. I think the last posts were old. He moved
That's
and then
weird.
yeah, hold up. Let me see. Where is that? Oh, this one's weird. This one talks about. Okay, he says, I promise everybody that, and I don't trust these fucking pigs because that's why motherfuckers down that's out now. Everybody has done my man wrong and done me wrong. Watch your motherfucking backs. That includes family and everybody on both sides. God have mercy on your motherfucking souls. And it says, I wonder how much jail time I would get if I actually did unto others as they have done unto me. Yeah, let's get him on the phone, Eve. Let's do it.
He's got a new Facebook.
Oh, does he?
Mm-hmm.
Do tell.
Last updated his profile picture April 2nd, 2022, but it's all lockdown. Like you can't see anything.
He does state here that he moved after this. He was like, I can't handle. It's up here more. He was like, I can't handle being in this bed that we shared. Then he's looking to move to the Pocono Mountains. Like, dude, go away. Do you see the one where he talks about that?
Hold on. I'm just looking at all the other ones because there's a few Facebook profiles.
Oh, really? Why does that not surprise me? But he moved, it says he moved to South Carolina September 15th, 2015. At least that's when he put it on Facebook. Oh, here we go. August 29th, 2015. I am not going to be on Facebook for a bit, my friend. I have to do some thinking, soul searching, and figure out what I'm going to do next, where I'm going to go, and not staying here. Soon Steven passed. I can't even stay in this house anymore. I can't stay in the bedroom with me and Steven. Once I get some listings that I have still to take care of, I am going to start packing. It says packing things that I want, things I don't want, to leave the sell off or just leave it in the house. I am hurt person that this too, and family, and for I just have to figure out what I want to do, where I want to go. I know I could never love again. I know I have no moral of my heart for even myself. So I can't love no one else. I have so much hatred in me right now. It is pathetic. So with that said, I'm going to be off the Facebook. All my friends, I would be looking at your posts, maybe. And maybe I just won't. I can, like I says, it is what it is. To all my friends, I'll see you around. Peace. Yeah. So then he heads out. And he's like traveling around the Poconos and all this other crazy shit. Oops. Wrong case. So yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think I'm telling you, I don't think I'll ever be the same person after this. This is so disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. So there's a lot of layers here. I think that maybe he had a crazy that was obsessed with him.
Yeah, I think so.
From the internet, possibly, because I just can't see Steven. You know, he was going to college. I don't think he was looking to like raise a family with this 47-year-old man.
Nope.
Wow.
I really can't see it. I think he got obsessed with him.
Yeah, he's not right. And I really do think that they need to follow up on this guy. He seems maybe like a ticking time bomb.
Mm-hmm.
You know, very bipolar. Like one post, he's, you know, the family and I are praying for justice for you. And then the next one, he's calling them cunts and bitches. And it's just like,
yeah,
that's
I know.
alarming. I just wonder where this guy's been for the last few years. And I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's in a good frame of mind, to say
not
the
at all.
least.
Nope.
Scary stuff. So I don't know. I mean, the blue paint thing, people are saying, you know, it wouldn't come off a bat like that. But what if it was a wooden bat?
Yeah, exactly. And there was something about Buster had been using a bat or something to hit mailboxes or something. I don't know. But if
Yeah.
it was like a bashed up bat, then the paint is going to come off of it, like wood chips.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is me live. I have the interrogation. I'm going to get that up here. Hold on. This is nuts. I forgot all about this. Let's go ahead and let's do it like this. He was arrested in Florida. This says aggravated assault. Looks like a pedo for sure. Cocoa was where he was arrested. Cocoa Police Department. Total bond was $15,000. This was on April 30th, 2016. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. Not really too cool there. Yikes. Thank you, Potato, for doing that replay with me. Let's get this guy's interrogation up. This is bananas. There's 5 parts to this audio, and I have to give credit to the YouTube creator Monkey Mar. Monkey Mar has this audio. So we're going to start with part 1, and we'll get our way through all of these parts. They're all different lengths. Looks like it's a total of a couple hours. Maybe like an hour and 15 or something like that. All right, we're going to start the audio now. Right meow.
I want to discuss day 1.
Hold on, I got to get to the audio.
In the bottom. July 8th, 2000.
Something just fell over. The wind just gusted.
The duo,
maybe this is just her story,
also known as SLED, opened a homicide investigation into Stephen Smith.
That's part 1 from Monkey Mar. Part 2, let's see what this is. It's not all in the interrogation. I was wrong. She has just like parts on the whole case. So hold on, I was wrong. It's not going to be that long.
That close enough where Keith would feel comfortable.
This is
Address and phone number.
This is Stephanie Smith. That's the sister. But we want to hear that guy. Stephanie Smith, I think, talks about the Craigslist. Here's Mark B. right here. Here we go. Do you guys let me know if you want to listen to Stephanie's after this?
Part of Mark B's interrogation. Somebody is not telling the truth. Mark.
Days dated 1-5.
2, our own opinions. Let's listen.
This is Corporal Duncan with South Carolina Highway Patrol. Mate, Post C. Case number on this will be CL-062-15. This is a reference to an incident in Hampton County on Sandy Run Road. Time is approximately 11:48. Today's date is July the 14th. I'm here with Mr. Burkhart. Also in the room with will be Trooper Rowe and Corporal Smith. At this point in time, I'm going to get Mr. Burkhart. Mr. Burkhart, if you would just state your first and last name for me.
First name is Marc, M-A-R-C. Middle name is Peter, P-E-T-E-R.
I cannot.
Last name is Bickhart, B-I-C-K-H-A-R-D-T. Birth date is 4/18/68.
And what's your phone number that you have? And the address here? And how long have you been living here?
Gosh.
Here, just a rough estimate. Doesn't have to be exact.
2 weeks, maybe,
Okay.
possibly.
Where were you living at prior to that?
94 Savannah Highway.
In Buford?
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
Okay. And as far as your educational level, what kind of education do you have?
12th grade, but I didn't graduate.
Okay. You understand how to read and write? Understand English and stuff?
Yeah, basics.
I mean, can you read?
I can read, but can't comprehend sometimes.
Okay. But you can read is what I'm saying.
Yes, I can read, but I have dyslexia.
Okay. You can write?
Yeah.
Okay. So
spelling ain't that good.
That's fine. I mean, I'm not worried about the grammatical errors.
No, I'm just telling you, I can read, I can, comprehension, but spelling is not there. I was going to go back to school.
All right, let me ask you this. How long, or is this your permanent resident as of right now, or is it just temporary?
We're hoping we'll get permanent, but I'm not sure right now.
Are you living here by yourself, or you living with somebody?
My son should be coming, but I'm not bringing him in this situation. I got a 5-year-old son.
Okay, all right. Let me kind of go back. You're familiar about the incident. Stephen Smith died last Wednesday, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. What I want you to do is, when was the last time you talked?
That night.
All right. About what time? Not the text, but about what time is the last time you talked to him?
You have to remember with all this, I took my Seroquel sometime. I can't remember if the call came.
I'm just asking for a roundabout time.
I can't remember if it came after the text or before the text, because the last call I heard, I asked him on one of the calls, are you walking? Because he already told me he was out of gas. He was running out of gas. One of the calls before, and I says, are you walking? Because I hear cars going by, and his answer to me was no. And then the call dropped, and I don't remember if he called me, because we were back and forth, the calls kept dropping.
After the call, did you text?
I mean, I don't remember. I mean, there were texts. I mean, we had so many texts back and forth that night on me worried about him calling me, phone service out there, and with this phone right now, we're having issues with our phones. Right. And half the times I don't have service.
Do you remember if it was daytime or nighttime?
This was at night. This is 3 a.m.
Okay.
I believe the last text, if my mind calls me correct, that I looked at it was 3:37 a.m.
Now, was he coming over here?
He was supposed to be. He was supposed to be on the way. But from what I'm learning, he was headed home. But, I don't know.
Okay, but as far as you know, he was coming over here.
That was what we were talking about, and that's what the texts were saying.
Okay. Anything else on them texts about where he had been?
Earlier that day, before we left to go to Walterboro, because my friends had to go to GameStop to get a game. We went to Walmart. From Walmart, we went to Arby's. Then my friends went to his cousin's house. Then my sugar dropped again. We went to the exit right when you come from 57 to come here to Hampton. There's a Horn gas station, I believe it is. We went back there. I got $4 worth of gas, and my friend went in to get me a Hershey bar. And the girl, African American girl, was pulling all the garbage and everything. Hey, I'm in an interview. I can't talk. All right, you got to go to work? Sorry.
So Stephen had been with you earlier in the day, right?
No, I was not seeing Stephen at all. That day at all.
When's the last time you actually saw him?
Saturday.
Saturday?
But the family saying that his SUV was not around. That SUV that he came to my house, came to see me several times, and even times before that I didn't have a car, been driving around this town.
Well, is this gray car out here the one you drive?
That's the one I drive. Okay. That's my Lincoln.
And you have any other cars? Is it in your name?
Yeah, that's in my name. That's registered and insured in my name.
Okay. Any other cars registered in your name?
Not registered.
But do you have any other cars?
I had to rent a car when I first came here because the transmission was having trouble.
What kind of rental car?
It was a Jeep.
How long did you have it?
Less than about a week. I had it from Tuesday to Tuesday.
You talking about Tuesday of last week?
Yeah.
You just turned it in?
Turned it in this Tuesday, so I had that.
You talking about today you turned it in?
No.
You talking about last Tuesday?
The Tuesday I was trying to get to, if you could. The next day that he got killed, I had the car. I had the Lincoln Tuesday.
The day that he got killed?
The day before he got killed, the Lincoln, I had the Lincoln.
Okay. All right.
So I had the Jeep the week before that.
Okay. All right.
And until that Tuesday.
So throughout the day, had you been talking with him at all?
We were mainly texting up until later on. I think I did talk to him at some point. I don't remember when. I know we talked because he said he was. I know I called him a lot of times. His signals were not good. I don't remember when, a time frame, but I know we did talk, and he said he was either a text or something. He said it was about an hour and a half out.
Okay. So the conversation that y'all were having, what was the conversation y'all were talking?
Mainly, was he going to come? Just normal boyfriend and boyfriend talk. I mean, we love each other, yada, yada, yada. I called him at one point. I know I left messages because I didn't get him that we were going to Walterboro. And if I think I texted him the same thing because I didn't get him because I wasn't sure whether he was in school, whether he was in work. A lot of times I'd like to text him to make sure he wasn't in school, because if he was, he could get in trouble if his phone was on. So I tried to text him first. To be honest with you, the next day I was upset with him because I had later on that day I had a deep gut feeling something happened, for the simple reason the phone wouldn't even would go right to voicemail.
Well, let me ask you this. Have y'all been arguing here lately?
We did have a little argument back because somebody's been messing around. He has it, and I just changed all my passwords because Craigslist things are coming in that I wasn't doing, and they're still coming. And now, as of last night,
when you say things were coming in, what kind of things were coming in from Craigslist?
He has my pictures. I have his.
Yeah, whatever you need.
I'm looking for my tablet if it's charged at me.
Is that the tablet up underneath that folder?
It doesn't tell you I'm not awake. He has a lot of pictures of me. I have a lot of pictures of him or something.
And what was the argument about?
Mainly, I did go on and I was just talking to him because I was saying do the fire. These are mainly of him. These are mainly of these two. But he has a lot of pictures of and I have a lot of. Yes, sir. The phone that he has is his phone off my service.
Let me ask you this. So is the phone your name?
Yeah, it's the phone I got him. It's
okay, so you bought him the phone?
Well, the phone originally that the car accident I was in, my phone was damaged. They took the phone, they gave me a different phone, and because he was getting very bad service, and he's been harassed in this town. They've been messing with his lugs on the car. They've been screwing with his battery.
And when you say they, who are you talking about?
I don't know. The only one that he told me that he made it very clear to me, the guy with the tattoo. Darn it. And I was looking for, because I threw all my cases out. You guys probably don't know, some of you know Guns N' Roses. You know Guns N' Roses got the skull tattoo, and then underneath they got the 2 cigarettes and it says Guns N' Roses. Well, it doesn't say Guns N' Roses, but it's got the 2 cigarettes. I had to remember the tattoo. And that's basically the tattoo that this guy's got, and it's big. It's bigger, but I can't remember where he said it was on the body. He told me that night that he hurt his ankle that we were on Hilton Head Beach. He told me what the tattoo was.
Okay. Let's get back to the argument. When's the last time you argued?
I know I was a little upset that he wasn't answering me, but I think it was mainly because
Was that earlier in the night? Or was
no,
that
that was Thursday. That was I think Wednesday or Thursday.
Have you argued prior to? Have y'all been arguing prior to that?
I wouldn't say an argument. It was just I seen his Craigslist, and it was mainly what it was he put it up there to show me his pictures and stuff that I seen, and I told him I wasn't seeing anybody. I was just texting, going back and forth. He says, there's a lot of Craigslist on there. I says, they're not mine. I says, the last Craigslist I posted was a while back. And I said, somebody's screwing around with my Craigslist. I said, because they should all be down. I says, I killed all my stuff once we got serious about it. We were going to get married. I says, if it's still up there, I don't even have the passwords to get in to post anything.
Let me ask you this. Do you do drugs?
I used to. I'm a recovering addict.
What kind of drugs?
LSD, acid. I popped a lot of pain pills.
All right. What about Stephen? Did he do any type of drugs around you?
He never did it around me, but I know he smoked weed. I know he smoked it because of anxiety, and I smoke weed too, but I haven't smoked it in a while.
Okay.
I'm December 5th, January 5th, February 5th, January, February, March, May, June, July. I'm 7 months clean. I've recently.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, all these phone calls that you're saying that you're getting, what are they saying? Besides that, the same thing will happen. Is it a male's voice? White, black, Hispanic?
The girls are white. The males, I don't know.
Are they giving you a group? What are they saying?
There's the guys the one girl, you could hear kids in the background. You could hear there's stuff going on in the background, but the voice is muffled. But you could tell it's a woman.
Have you got any recorded?
I'm still trying to figure out how to record while you're on the phone. That's what I've been trying to...
Have they left you any recorded messages on your voicemail?
No, but I could check that. That was something that I needed to check. Lollipop, don't start eating whatever on the rug, please. I don't have any money to take you to the vet. Believe me, there should be. This is the last message was 7/4/2015 from Steven, and I gave him some gas money on the 3rd.
On what? The 4th?
This is the 4th.
Okay.
And he didn't leave anything.
Put it on speakerphone.
It is. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't even realize it because I know. I'll play it back. I didn't realize it.
I'm not worried about what the I just want to hear.
I didn't even remember it was here. So this is something I know I played it. Now let's play it. Yeah, this phone service funky. You know how to get that to play back? Huh?
Press play.
Go ahead. I'm telling you, that's why I don't drive at this point.
That's the phone from Steven?
Yeah, that's the person that was calling me, and I don't know who's calling me from that number. That's the person that called at one time. That's his phone.
Hi, this is Elaine. I'm returning your call. I know you called last night. Give me a call back, please.
This number has called you several times.
Yeah, they called, and that was originally it comes up. Is that where it says boyfriend?
No.
All right, no, you gotta hit boyfriend. The boyfriend is the one.
Okay.
Not that one.
All right.
Sorry.
So he doesn't say anything?
That's another night that I don't. Look at what the 4th was. Was the 4th?
Saturday.
That was the night that I got a call from him. He was out at the boat landing. That's why I went to
Bobcat landing in Bamberg.
That's why, if that's, can I see the phone?
Mm-hmm.
That's the night that I did get, let me see something. That's the night, I believe, yep, it's a Saturday night. That's the night that he was at the boat landing that he came here. And he didn't come here till
Let me
late.
ask you this question. Have you and Stephen ever been out together and been threatened by anybody?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever threatened Stephen with any harm?
No.
Have you ever had any physical fight,
No.
just a normal argument?
It was just over, well, the thing that happened was I'm 47 years old. Stephen works a lot. Stephen works a lot and goes to school. And mainly why that was put up there, and he made it very clear to me, because he's working going to school and he's seen my pictures. I'm telling you, them pictures I did not put up. So I seen his pictures up there. I was living after the fire with Larry, is where I went yesterday.
And these pictures you're talking about the ones on Craigslist?
Yeah, I didn't put them up.
On Craigslist, how's it listed on Craigslist?
I don't have a Craigslist.
I mean, but how was it listed? You had to see them.
I don't remember because it's,
Is he using an alias name, or is it?
He ain't using nothing. It was something, I don't remember, because the phone and the tablet that he has, and I tried, and I wonder if I can make it.
Does the sister still have the tablet?
The sister has the tablet, and that's what, let me show you something. Can you come over here?
Yeah.
I said to everybody, the phones, why I'm getting calls from Stephen, let me show you something. And I'm going to make a point to you, and one of the cops told me, no, bull donkey. I'm going to prove. I don't know how you could do it, but how do I text myself? Because if somebody let me see. I'm gonna.
Did
make
he
a call
say
real
ball
quick.
donkey?
He just freaking called me.
Well, let me ask you this question.
I'm gonna just hold on a second, please. Hello? Hey, Bubba, text me so I could show them something. Just say, hey, okay, because we got a lot going on with this. People texting me and calling me. Just text me and say, hey, I got to show them that the way this is set up on the tablets and phones, that they go into both systems.
Listen, I'm doing something on the phone right now because I got to get back to the toolbox and stuff. I'm doing something on the phone right now.
All right. Let me figure out how to get this done.
That's fine. You don't have to, because I'm imagining we'll be talking with you again. Let me ask you this question. You willing to take a lie detector test saying you don't know anything about his death or had anything to do with that death?
I know a lot about what...
I didn't ask you that. Are you willing to take...
I'm willing to take a lie detector test. This is what I'm trying to show you. The texts that go to my phone go to that. That's why that tablet is proven to everything. Now, what I know is that I feel that the escort agency has something to do with this.
Who is the escort agency?
That's why we need the phone and the tablet. Because he told me when he came Saturday, end quote, that when he came that I was going to have to get whacked down. Everything. And look like a boy. And it was going to be. And I said, I'm not comfortable with father-son deal. When we're boyfriend and boyfriend. But there is something going on this Saturday.
Okay. Where is the escort agency?
That I don't know, because I only learned about this a couple weeks ago. I don't have information on what escort agency, where it is. I know I worked for one way back when, and he said it ain't that long.
Well, let me ask you this. You say you work for an escort agency. I'm not... Don't try to read in the question. Did you ever give him any idea about trying to work into an escort agency?
No.
You give him, you talk to him about how an escort agency works?
No, because he already knew.
Okay. Who, other than you, who else would he may have been seeing?
That's a good question, because according to the sister, he's been seeing other guys, and the father passed a comment when he was walking out. He made me money, and I didn't have the money.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever seen him with anybody else?
No, I haven't.
How long have y'all been together?
His birthday is the 29th of January. He was shaking his booty at the club, and he wasn't, so that's probably why that club, because his birthday is the 29th, and I wasn't.
What I'm saying, how long have y'all been?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was shaking his butt at the club, dancing at the club. I want to say the 26th, 27th.
Which club is this?
It's been closed up. It was in Charleston.
You know the name of it?
There was a friend, and that's when we first met.
So you met him back in January?
He supposedly was 18, but his birthday is not until 29th.
So you met him?
He wasn't even 18, but we didn't do anything because he had to leave.
Okay. When did you officially start really going or hanging out with him, going out with him, whatever you want to call it?
Around my birthday.
When's your birthday?
April 88.
So y'all been seeing each other on a regular basis since April?
Well, it's been regular, but I didn't get the car. When he could come to me, or I could get anywhere down here, I could get a friend to bring towards this area.
How many arguments have y'all ever had?
I had one.
and that was over Craigslist.
It wasn't really an argument.
It was a disagreement.
It was a disagreement. I wouldn't say we fought. I was mainly upset because of the thing, but we weren't like threatening each other. I mean, it wasn't a threat. It wasn't a threat.
That's not the question that I'm asking you. I said the argument.
But I'm making it clear it wasn't there weren't threats. We were both upset too. Why the pictures are getting put up? Why? And me seeing it. I mean, to be honest with you, when I seen pictures that I've never seen, I was down on my hands and knees crying.
Let me ask you this next question. When the phone call drops, Walt, did you ever make a comment or ask him, do you want me to come?
I couldn't come get him, and that was what I was saying.
Why couldn't you come get him?
I didn't have enough gas, and he didn't want me to come with the gas that was in the car. I didn't have gas.
Okay. After that, after you dropped the phone, the last text or the last phone call, what was the last thing?
Wait a minute. This dude says that Steven wanted him to come because he was out of gas, but he didn't. And then then Steven ends up dead. He's going to say he was on the phone with him too.
The last thing he said is, I'm on my way. The text, I'm not sure which one came. I believe it said I'm 30, 40 minutes away.
You text him back and say anything?
I believe I did, but I don't.
What kind you say to him?
I don't remember. That's what I'm telling you. Seroquel was already in my body at that point. It was impossible for me to go anywhere, and he knew that. But I'm saying to you, it was the fact that no gas, the fact that Seroquel was kicking, he knew that.
So if I
Could you wait a minute? I want to get. He was not normal.
And when you say not normal, what do you mean by?
He sounded like he was drunk. He doesn't take drugs. He doesn't drink other than smoke weed. He sounded like he
So what are your thoughts on who is telling the truth?
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Okay, let's see if there's another part to this. Mark B continued. It says, her title says, continue. Listen carefully, he holds the key. Let's go to the beginning of this.
I'm not sure what.
The second part.
And no gas. I'm not sure what I'm saying to you. It was the fact that no gas, the fact that Seroquel was kicking, he knew that.
So if I
Could you wait a minute? I want to get. He was not normal.
And when you say not normal, what do you mean by not normal?
He sounded like he was drunk. He doesn't take drugs. He doesn't drink other than smoke weed. He sounded like he was on something. He played it off to me on the call that I was talking to him a little bit earlier before, all this, that he said to me, end quote, I'm tired. I've been at school and work, and I'm tired. And I believe I said to him, it doesn't sound like tired. And he says, Mark, I'm just tired. I believe if he was drugged and he came here, the house in the back, I don't know if this yellow car, the windows are tinted dark, but there's a yellow car that comes in that goes to the back, people in the back.
And what's that got to do with this?
I don't know. If the yellow car that supposedly the sister says he was driving, windows are tinted, then he has been in here to the back.
But it ends up he's never been here though.
He's been here, yes, he's been here.
What's the reason for the yellow car?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. If that's the car that I'm thinking, because I've only seen that car once that I've seen it. When he came here, I didn't see the car. I mean, I don't know what car he came in. I assumed even on that date that I went to the house, he was still, because one of the texts and one of the calls that we talked, I asked him, did you get, because he came out to, when I was staying at Red Roof Inn, he came out before. That was one of the last times I seen him before I went to Larry. And all that stuff coming down with that little disagreement was when I was at Larry's. That tablet is his, and I'm telling you, the shit that's going on is off that tablet. That's why I wanted to show you that, because you can route the phone calls through the tablet, and it can still come up his number.
Well, Mark, let me ask you this. I got some other questions later on. You willing to come in?
I'm willing to do whatever you want. I just can't drive right now.
I'm not asking that right now.
Whatever. You want me to bend over backwards? You want me to do whatever you need me to do? I'm telling you, I'm not the one.
Okay.
I don't care what you want me to do.
Okay.
I will do anything you need.
Let me ask you this, do y'all have any mutual friends that y'all were around?
Yes, there was a couple guys in town.
What are their age?
One of them, I believe, is 18. A couple of them one of them was in Waterball.
Did he ever say he was with any of those that night?
He didn't say anything, but the kid that he took to Switchesville, Switches State,
So-
that's somebody he goes to school with.
Let me start a little timeline here. All right, he died Wednesday morning. Is that correct?
Correct.
So Tuesday, let's say around 6 o'clock. Did you think you talked to him around 6 o'clock too? Whether by text or phone?
We talked all the time. I mean, you're asking questions. You got to remember, I did heavy drugs and stuff. I'm lucky I can remember some things. It's taking me time just to put a timeline together now. I mean, the drugs I've been...
but
I'm lucky actually. I can't even, if I don't put something by the door to go out the door, to go do something, I have to come back 20 times to get it. I mean, I'm putting it straight out to you, straightforward. So you're asking me questions. The phone is going to be more answers that can give you than I can give you on when we text. We text. I mean, I'm being straightforward with you. I'm not gonna tell you something and be caught in a lie because I don't remember when we talked, when we didn't. We were talking and texting all the time, sir. So I don't remember time.
It's possible. Here's the problem I have with it, and I'll go ahead and tell you the problem I have with it is you're able to tell me about all this other stuff that went.
But
let me finish. I'm not asking specific questions. I'm asking for a broad. I'm giving you a broad time. I said approximately. I'm not asking you to say 6:01 or 6:10, and I'm asking specific things that he may have said, but you can tell me what somebody said yesterday, calling you and harassing you, and
because certain things stick in my mind. Yeah, we probably did text. Yes. I mean, I can tell you we text all the time. If we text, yes, I know we were texting.
Let me go ahead and tell you this. If you know anything and you're trying to hide it from me, whether you did, let me finish. Whether you had anything to do with it or not, understand you can be held just as accountable for it. I mean, if it's somebody you know, some information that...
The only thing that I know is when the time that before the fire, and I said this to the sister, the one thing that was said that when I picked up the check for my deposits to the landlord, he, outside his church, he says, you and Stephen are going to burn in hell for being in a gay relationship, and it's sex. Either one of you or both of you. That's the only thing. And that night that we were either going to the beach or coming, that we stopped at a gas station, and he was the one just get in the car, Mark, don't engage with him. It's not fucking worth it. We were at, I think it was the Shell going towards...
And what night was it?
It was a Friday night, but I don't remember the date.
Friday night before the 4th of July?
Yeah, it was way before the 4th of July. It was the weekend of the fire, and I don't remember what weekend with everything going on.
But you keep talking about this fire. What kind of fire?
It was an electrical fire because me and Steven went over to the guy to talk about him working on the house.
What fire you with? What fire?
This was your previous residence?
Yes, there was the guy was a Mexican. He didn't know what he was doing with construction. There was problems with the other guy putting GFIs in. It rained Sunday morning into Monday morning. I got woken up by my son and the other two kids, and they're saying smoke. The smoke detectors didn't even go off. I guess because of the rain and whatever they were doing. Here, let me show you. The guy was putting these long nails through the walls. Okay, actually, I have it better because I printed.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, but the fact is, one of the wires, because I had to get my old washer.
Just FYI, this guy has a 5-year-old, and it sounds like he's around other children. That is really scary, too.
Back from a friend and dryer. One of the wires went right through where the wire for the dryer is. And that must have set a lot of issues off. And it started a fire in the house. That was 94.
Can I ask you one thing?
What?
You can remember everything about everything else.
Because you're asking specific things that I can't give you.
But I mean, you can be in detail, but where this nail went, what wire struck, but you can't remember, and this happened
less than a week ago.
Yeah, less than a week ago, and you can't remember last time you saw.
Okay, let me explain it to you. Some of these things, I wasn't on my Seroquel. I wasn't taking my Seroquel. That's the difference that you're asking. When some of these things happen, I wasn't taking my Seroquel. That is the difference that you're asking. The calls and some of the things that he's asking me that night, that's one of the reasons why I couldn't go. You see when you came in today, up until now, I'm still coming off of it. You could see me when I'm on first thing in the morning. You look at my eyes, they're not bloodshot. They're red from the Seroquel.
So when did you take it that, Tuesday? When did you take that Tuesday? You took that Tuesday night?
Tuesday.
When Stephen called you?
I took it way before that because he had the habit of calling and saying he's going to come and he can't come because then he's got to go do something else.
So basically what you're saying, so you know, so what you can be telling us now could not be true then, right?
It is true because the texts are going to tell you what it is.
But you say that you can't remember.
I took it about 1 o'clock. It takes an hour or so before it really, or 2 hours or 3 hours before it starts working. Before I totally go out, you're looking at about 4 hours. And then at that point, I'm out for a while. If there's a fire in here, if that fire would have happened when I took my medicine when the kids started going to sleep at 10 o'clock, by 1 o'clock, if that fire would have happened between 1 and, say, 4 in the morning, we would have all burnt in hell. Because I cannot physically, I can hear what goes on, whether or not I can't physically get up. The body is like, you're making a face.
Yeah, I am. I mean, because all this stuff that you're telling me is...
Talk to my doctor and you talk.
Well, I don't need to talk to you, doctor. I'm talking to you. I mean, you can recall so much from everything else, even when you take your medicine. And then you're telling me, now because we give you like a little bit of timeline, you say you take it at 1 o'clock, and it takes 1 hour, or maybe 2, or maybe 3.
It depends on what medicine I'm taking. I mean, I take multiple. All right, listen. If you're trying to run the phone records, it's going to tell us. Take the phone. I'm not going to be ridiculed I'm not going to be ridiculed. I already got the mother telling me and making accusations.
And nobody here has made no accusations. The problem I have with is you're not able to recall things that you say, and that in itself, to me, is a problem. Okay?
All right, fine. I understand that.
But you're saying you're receiving these phone calls from people who are threatening you from the Cayman Islands. You're saying that you're receiving them from people around here.
I don't know. Did I say around here? I said that they're saying I'm going to die. They're unavailable numbers. How do I know? You see that the phone says the Cayman Islands. All right, but the ones that are unavailable until phone records are pulled, I don't know where they're coming from.
I will say this. I don't have anything else for you. All right, but I will say, if you want to cooperate, continue to cooperate.
I'm cooperating, but you're.
I'm not saying you're not cooperating. See, you're jumping to accusations just because we're asking you questions.
I don't have answers. It's not that I don't like. I don't have answers.
You do have answers.
I don't know.
Wait a second. You say the phone's going to answer. Now I'm good with that. All right, but the problem is if somebody.
Do you understand how many times we text?
Doesn't matter. Okay, let me ask you this. I can tell you right now. I can tell you what my wife or anybody, and I text a lot with my wife and my daughter, and I can pretty much tell you. I can't tell you every word that they say, but I can give you the gist of the conversation.
And I can give you that, but
that's all I'm asking. I'm not asking, and I've told you this from the beginning. I'm not asking for specifics. I'm just asking to be general. I come in here telling you timeline, same thing. I'm not asking you to tell me.
A lot of the texts are what we're going to do, or can he come by, or do you want me to meet you? One of the texts, and I don't remember exactly whether it was Wednesday night, but I know Tuesday or Monday night, I did text him, and he was coming from school, or was supposed to be, do you want me to cook you something?
That's all I'm asking for. One of the things I'm asking for on some of these texts, did he say anything while he was walking, like there's something suspicious?
He never said he was walking. I said to you, I asked because I heard the tires. Are you walking? His answer to me was no.
Okay. Did he ever say anything suspicious was happening to him? Or
that night?
Yes.
He did say that he felt he was being followed.
Okay.
And did he give you any indication? And I'm not, like I said, this is generic. I don't expect...
Well, if you ask specific questions, I'm going to give you what I know.
I have been asking you the same questions I'm asking you now. But the...
Can I do something? All right, go ahead.
All right. The thing I'm asking is, when he said that he felt like he was being followed, did he say, you know, there's a car following me, or I was in a restaurant, or I was at the gas station?
They said he was up there, but he was up at that blinking light up there. He said his family said he was up at the Exxon. He said he was up, and I can't remember. If you go out like you're going out to Walterboro, sir, there's a four-way blinking light, and there's a store right to the right.
Snyder's Crossroads.
Oh, see, I don't know where. He said he was out there. They said he got cigarettes at Exxon.
Now, let me ask you this. Is that where he said he felt like he was being followed at?
Yes, he said that he was being harassed at that store.
By who?
He didn't say. He said it was a couple of guys in the pickup truck. If I recall correctly, he said they were rednecks. But I know.
Did he ever give you a description of the pickup truck?
He may or may not. He said it was big and it was tall. He didn't give me a description with the mud tires. But the last time we talked, that night, before the phone went down, and I said to him, are you walking or not? I called him back. Or was that before? I know at one point I heard mud tires. I heard big mud tires. Big mud tires. And I...
In other words, when you say you hear
in the background...
You hear them whining, is what you're trying to say? Like,
yeah, I hear the mud tires like they're coming towards him or going past him. Because they sounded loud. That they were getting louder. And that, I believe, was the last time I talked to him.
So you asked him what was going on? What are you doing? You asked him what he was doing?
At one point, yes, I did. He said he was coming to me.
No, when you heard those mud tires, you didn't ask him what's going on? What's
because first I heard a semi, then I heard the mud tires. Right after all that, it went down. The phone went on me.
So he had you on speakerphone?
I don't think so.
So you can hear mud tires while he...
I don't know what he did.
Now I'm asking you, can you hear mud tires while he's on the phone, while he's walking down the highway?
I guess. I mean, I don't know, because I know if I'm walking, you could hear a lot on the phone. It depends on how we have the phone turned
up. If he's on speakerphone, yeah, but if he ain't on speakerphone, how can you hear?
I don't know. But I guess it's on speakerphone, but I know
Did I ask him to do that?
You could hear certain things when I'm walking.
How do you know there was mud tires?
By the sound of them. Basically, you know, like a big truck with big tires, you could hear your...
And how about the semi?
The semi, you could hear it was a semi. My uncle drove semis.
So you can hear from the semi?
I know what he's talking about, too.
Identify the two different vehicles, yes.
You don't remember about what time that was?
I'm not asking you specific.
If you give me a minute, I'm trying to put... That was a little bit before. And the call before that, I heard a lot of dogs in the background, like barking. And I don't know where he was at that point. But them tires... And that's why I went out to the scene. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see because the semi was the first one. And then
you went to the scene?
I went to the scene because I went out to the house because he also told me...
What time did you go to the scene?
The day after the wake.
Oh, the day after the wake.
Because I didn't even know... I didn't know until my friends started telling me, you're talking about Stephen Smith. I didn't even know he had passed away or he was hit. I didn't know nothing about this until I was going to go to an NA meeting. And my friend gave me gas to go, and I drove right by the wake. And that's when I drove by, and she asked me again, you're talking about Stephen Smith, 19 years old. That's when I learned this happening.
Okay. Stephen had an alias name, Brian. You ever know him about him using that?
Yeah, that's a killer. I heard about that. That's something he uses. Brian, it ain't just Brian he uses. Brian, is it Brian? Brian something was something he used. Now that you mention it, that jogs a memory. Brian, it wasn't just Brian he used on.
Is that the alias name he used for the sex chat rooms and
Craigslist?
The Craigslist, not the Craigslist, but I don't know about sex chats. I know about escort agent, but it wasn't just Brian. I gotta really think about that one. There was something else, Brian. I want to say Brian something, but it wasn't just Brian. Brian wasn't Brian Brown, but there was something else added to that to use for the escort agency.
Well, what's the escort agency you have worked for?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna get that. It's Ashley's escort agency.
Ashley, where at?
She's at Hilton Head.
And Hilton Head?
Yeah, my phone's taking a minute. I don't know which one he was using, but I know we were supposed to go do something this Saturday. And it was supposed to be the whole weekend. He was going to take off school and everything.
I would probably say, you know...
If it has to do with anything, but what I'm going to tell you is what I know. And I know enough of enough. His sister, when it was... like he was going to do anything. Like, I showed one of the officers, like, if you go on Craigslist and you just go out, clear out, like if you're an officer and you're talking to me, and I say, I need money to perform a service, that's an automatic go to jail card. An automatic, there's a lot of noises that drive me nuts around here right now. A go to jail card. I know that he told me the sister will do the calls and work a lot of it.
This is his twin sister?
Yeah, the little one. And I know very well there's a lot of things that bother me that I back myself out of the house. Let me get what I got for you. Because I haven't worked for her in a while. Ashley. It should be under something now. Ashley, I know. This is it here. Yeah, this is it here. This is the escort. It doesn't have the escort thing. This is her number, but a lot of the
Yes,
times...
ma'am. How you doing?
My name is Wendy.
Marc,
He's a client of ours.
you got here?
Yes, Glenn. Hey. That's that number.
Hey, how you doing? Hey.
So as far as the last time you was working the escort service, how long ago was that?
I don't want to get involved in it. He called and said.
We're not accusing him, and he hasn't been read for rights.
No.
This is just an interview with him.
Okay, so I can.
Yes, ma'am. This is not any accusations or anything like that.
He called and said that he was experiencing some kind of meltdown. He called the office a few minutes ago and got to the case manager kind of alerted. So
Because I'm trying to get into a therapist because I got a lot of shit going on, and they want that Ashley's not around.
Okay, well I'll try to see if I can get you an appointment.
Okay.
Okay. I'm at my office.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Go ahead. What were you asking?
When was the last time you had any dealings with that escort service?
I called there a couple times, but they weren't willing to use me anymore because they weren't using mails down that way.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Could it have been of your age? Possibly because of your age?
Probably because a lot of them is my age. And a lot of the guys, if it's me, want me totally shaved down. Any of the kids, the younger kids, I hate to say it, and it's as sick as a fucking could be. If they're 19 or if they're 25 or 36, they want them looking like boys.
Let me ask you this.
And
go ahead. No.
I'm giving you what I know. Okay, you want to know about them? 90%, and I'm not saying any use, 90% of these guys that are using the escort agency are guys that have money, and they're usually older, and they're looking for guys that look like kids.
Now, you don't know if he was working with an escort agency.
I know he was because he told us.
But it wasn't Ashley.
No, I know it wasn't Ashley.
Sure
yes, well, he said no. I mean, when I asked him, was it, and I showed him the number, he told me no.
Okay. And
But Ashley does all over, so it's possible.
So it's possible that...
It's possible, but he looked right at me and said no.
Did he ever give you a name of the escort service he may have been working?
No. He never gave it to me. Okay. And, I mean, he sometimes gave me names, but I'm really bad with names.
Yeah, that was a good action. Are there any other escort agencies that he may be using?
I mean, they're all over the place.
What some names are?
I don't know. I mean, I'm wanting to go on the thing right now, but the way I am, I don't know. What you have to Google is Google.
That's all right. I mean, I'm
Google escort agency, Google male escorts, and they're going to pop a lot of things, and then a lot of them numbers are being killed. A lot of them, because Ashley's number may not be actually active, because I know one of the reasons why she stopped using males, the reason why we use escort agencies, all right, Craigslist is entirely, I know a lot of times, people are getting killed. An escort agency, how it works is if I go out on a job, all right, once I get to my destination, I call there. They know I'm there. Once I go in and meet with the customer, they got to pay you up front. No matter what, at any point there's a problem, I back myself out. The customer already knows that. I got to go somewhere once I get my money, put it wherever I'm going to put it, tell her whether we're going to stay there, move to another location. If I move to another location or they want to move me, I got to call the escort agency. That's the difference about using an escort agency and doing a freelance. Freelance, you're going to wind up somewhere dead. Okay, I'm telling you, if this has to do with freelance, that could be why. But I know whatever going on has to do with a club. We're going to go to a club. But I know the club he was dancing at closed. I thought he said...
Has he been to any other clubs that you know of?
Yes. Like I said, I don't remember the name. He said it's one that does, but from my worst memory, I thought he said that the one that he went to, and now I remember there is another one that will let him in. Because there's another one, that one closes by midnight. The other one that we were talking about going, he could only go in with me. And that closes at 1 a.m. And I'm trying to remember for the worst of me what night we were asking.
Well, let me ask you one other thing then, pretty much. As far as Stephen goes, he never specifically told you he was doing any of that, as far as you know.
Go to the Pacific, what, your escort agency?
Whether he's doing it freelance or through an escort agency.
He's been doing it both ways.
So you know that he's been doing it both ways?
Yes.
All right.
You want me to tell you why?
No. What I'm going to do is basically, you've got some pretty decent information.
But I'm going to tell you why. He said, and he did lie about this, he said he was living with Mama. And he said the money that he's making off this is helping his mother. Now I come to find out he's living with Daddy.
Okay.
So there is a little bit of fibbing there.
Okay.
But I'm going to say one other thing before you go to where you want to go. He did not want me in Hampton City. He did not want me in Hampton. He wanted me in Somerville or Waterville. He didn't even want me in Waterville. He wanted me in Somerville.
Okay.
And he said that things were going to come down if I was here. And we've been seen in town hugging and kissing. The night that I came out was a Sunday night, and I'm trying to remember when my little trust went in, because I don't think my checks went in, because I pulled money out of Bank of America, because I know that he needed money for his uniforms. His sister said, this is, I believe, what is this? This is the Cayman Islands. Hello? Yes?
Yeah, hey, is Marc available?
But it wasn't just Brian. Wasn't Brian Brown, but there was something else added to that to use for the escort agency.
But what's the escort agency you have it for?
Oh, okay. You do anything? Like, I showed one of the officers, like, if you go on Craigslist, Ashley, I know, this is it here. Yeah, this is it here.
No, what I'm going to do is basically, you've got some pretty decent information.
But I'm going to tell you why. He said, and he did lie about this, he said he was living with Mama. And he said the money that he's making off this is helping his mother. Now I come to find out he's living with Daddy.
Okay.
So there is a little bit of fibbing there.
Okay.
But I'm going to say one other thing before you go to where you want to go. He did not want me in Hampton City. He did not want me in Hampton. He wanted me in Somerville or Waterville. He didn't even want me in Waterville. He wanted me in Somerville.
Okay.
And he said that things were going to come down if I was here. And we've been seen in town hugging and kissing. The night that I came out was a Sunday night, and I'm trying to remember when my went in, because I don't think my checks went in, because I pulled money out of Bank of America, because I know that he needed money for his uniforms. His sister said,
My ex used to have that as his alarm. Shoot me now.
yes,
Is this him?
yes.
Perfect. My name is Sandra, and I'm calling with the law offices of Lexington Law Firm. How are you doing today?
Yes, ma'am. What can I do for you?
I wanted to go over.
I can't deal with that. Ma'am, I can't deal with that now.
Okay, well, is there a time maybe a little bit later you can
Tomorrow, ma'am. I told you I didn't have the money for it. Okay?
Okay,
It's
do you
really...
have our telephone number to give us a call back at here, Marc?
Yes, I have your number.
All right, perfect. Give us a call when you can, okay?
All right. Let me see something. They're almost exactly the same numbers. And it would be because it comes up Cayman on 3, 4, 4.
You got anything else?
Mm-mm.
Y'all go ahead. I'll be right outside.
All right.
Mark, is there anything else that you think you can think of?
I have a big issue with the system.
That's fine. I'm not worried about that. Like I said, we are dumping the phone.
I have no issue with that. You want this phone?
No, that's fine. If I need it, I'll get it from you.
I'm trying to see something because I'm trying to see the number for the Cayman Islands.
All right, basically what I'm going to do is just conclude the interview.
I can tell you, no, it is a different number.
Okay.
It is a different number. He was the one that told me the last thing, if you want to keep it recording.
I've got it.
He told me the first time that I did pick him up the first night, he said that I love you, I want to be with you. But when you need to get your stuff straightened out to a place of living, and I need to get a few things straightened out in Hampton.
Okay.
But he did say to me, and he said once I can graduate, he wanted to move back to Florida.
Okay. All right.
I'm telling you, man.
That's fine. No, that's fine.
I'm telling you, man to man, that if it has to do with me, I'm not knowing.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, I was here.
And I'm not trying to accuse you of that, but some of the things that I'm not. That's why the frustration sets in as far as you can remember this, but you can't remember that.
Because you got to understand, I got a lot of brain injuries.
Okay.
And you're trying to hit me with things just to get a timeline. I mean, I hadn't think because I'm thinking in my head that these calls are coming in Thursday morning.
I got you.
And I really had to look and ask my friend, because you're banging me on dates and times. I had to call my friend and ask him, was this Wednesday morning or was this Tuesday morning? So when we went to Waterboro, because in my own little head, I got a lot of brain injuries. And I'm telling you what I know. But when you start, to me, digging a lot of information, I go in and make sure.
Let me explain that digging information is. That's all for your behalf and mine and his.
But and I understand that. But you got to understand, I get overwhelmed and hit real quick. If I come up with anything.
Let me go through this, and then I've got to go because we've got one other place to go to. If I have any more questions, may not.
Whatever you need, I'm willing.
Okay.
You want me to take a lie detector test? I'm telling you, I'll do it. Let's do it. Set it up.
Okay.
Let's do it, because I'm telling you, I didn't do this.
And that's what if it comes to that, we'll get together on that.
Listen, you want to do a cavity search, whatever you need, I'm willing.
Okay.
I will go to the end of the earth for him.
Oh my God.
But I'm telling you, man to man, I did not kill him.
Okay.
I don't think they want that.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Until this is proven, she's saying I'm stalking her. The problem I got with that is when I got a text and a call from one of the friends that we all know, said to me that she just called back after you left and she left the clerk up there at the Shell and asked where you were going, what the guy told you that you know, where you're going and what do you do. I got an issue with that. I don't stalk the woman.
If you start running into a situation like that,
I asked the officer. I called dispatch last night. I'm feeling that I backed off going out to that area because I was by the Piggly Wiggly and I knew there was an officer not too far. Gotta remember, I'm an ex-gangbanger.
I understand.
And I get
I'm an ex-gangbanger.
To what I'm feeling. The mother was staring at me at the.
Well, if you start having issues with it, just go back up there, and they'll take out whatever they need to do. They'll write up the paperwork, and you can get this stopped. Okay.
I feel in these little unavailables, I feel like I'm not from the system.
Okay.
The system's that what do you need from Verizon?
Oh, I don't need it. I've already got everything I need. I mean, we get a search warrant for it and all.
All right.
So you don't have.
So you know that's my phone that I got.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I have. You want to search? You want to search the house? Go ahead.
Nope.
You gotta do it.
No.
I'm telling you.
Like I said,
you
right
want to
now,
search the car? Search the car.
Right now.
I have no issue with whatever you want to do.
And like I said,
I'm not the one you're looking for.
Right now, you're the closest thing though that we get information from.
Because I mean, whether he's close, but he told me to watch out for his sisters.
I understand.
But what I'm heard about mostly is I loved him. I was in love with him, and he said that the family would accept me no matter what. And I'm hurt by what the mother's doing.
Okay.
And that's mainly what's bothering me.
I understand.
And I am insecure being here because I gotta at some point bring my son here. And I don't know that that's a good idea at this point.
I understand. All right. Well, I will be getting back in touch with you if you need anything.
I mean, anything you need, I have. I mean, I moved here because of Steven, so we could be closer.
Okay.
Why would the fuck I kill him?
I understand. Nobody's accusing you of that.
But the mother is going around town saying it.
People go around saying a lot of things at a lot of times. You have to understand.
But you understand she's grieving like
Do you know that cop just actually laughed? I think the cop knows he didn't do it. He's like, I moved here to be closer to him. Why the fuck would I kill him? And the cops laughed because he's like, it's so true. Like, this guy has given him everything. His phone, his iPad, everything. He keeps giving him information even when he says, I'm going to conclude the interview. Totally not, he didn't do this. But he's 47 at the time and Steven was 19. Totally inappropriate relationship. Disgusting.
Anything you need, I have. I mean, I moved here because of Steven, so we could be closer.
Okay.
Why would the fuck I kill him?
I understand. Nobody's accusing you of that.
But the mother is going around town saying it.
People go around saying a lot of things at a lot of times. You have to understand.
But you understand she's grieving like I am.
I know. I understand.
I understand she's a grieving mother. But I deal with.
That's why I will tell you. Just back away. Don't say anything. You know.
One thing I thought of. You might want to put that on. One thing I thought of is that trailer that the first time when I got my car and we met, and this is why even making calls, I could call somebody and talk to them for 20 an hour and stuff, hang up and remember something. That's why I say brain injuries. He told me the time that we had the altercation coming from the beach. It was coming from the beach because I had to get gas in the Lincoln.
Right.
He said about the trailer, because that was the trailer that I went out to the house. I wanted to look at what he was telling me, because when I went to bed at night, there's that trailer next to the property, there's a sign of him going in the window. And apparently when he was in high school, like not senior year, but one of the years before, he didn't give me a time frame.
Sometime in high school.
Sometime in high school, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
That he went in that trailer with one of the guys, and
thank you, Swifter.
There was an altercation in there, and the father put him going in. Apparently, there may still be stuff of his in there.
Okay.
That was why I went out. I just went out to see. I went to look at tracks in there. Okay. I'm assuming one of your officers went to that, but that trailer, the one with the picture, I can't remember for the world of me what he said about that 60. Another thing, why I can think of it, there were people mocking him every time this Craigslist went up. Mm-hmm. There was something that he did put up that I did see, and I did call him and text. I think called him. I don't want to go into. I texted him.
Right, I understand.
I mean, because you
communicated with him.
We communicated. I don't know if it's call or text. Because a lot of times I'm not a big texter.
Right.
I mean, so a lot of times I will try and text him. Not to get off track. He said to me, I just lost it. He said to me about that they said that he raped the kid, but the kid was on top of him. Steven was mostly a bottom. And he said when the first time that we were at my house at 94, he says, I never topped. You're the second man that I have done this with. I'm usually always a bottom and do oral. You're the second man, and the first man wound up beating the shit out of me.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well,
the age difference, I know.
Oh my God, the cop is like, I don't want to know anymore.
Because I actually got to go to another one. I will contact you back and
I was at the funeral home. I was getting bad vibes from the mother's friend who did tell me that the two blind girls, they always try to mess up his boyfriend and stuff. This, and I don't mean to put it, but this is why he didn't want me around the family for some reason.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, there were texts that he was supposed to be coming here. He never showed up.
Okay.
And I was getting a little upset. Why didn't you show?
I mean,
there was never a physical, verbal. There may have been little things that we were having little disagreements, but we never argued as far as verbal, as far as physical. Okay. I never got physical with him.
Okay.
And honestly, I will put a woman down on the ground verbally. I will get physically verbal with a woman. I've been assaulted by a woman. My sister tried to cut my own shit off. That's why I'm gay. With a fucking meat cleaver to boot. I don't deal with women at all.
I understand.
Okay, but we never got physical in anything. Okay. And if it was physical, it was sexual.
Okay.
That was about the only physical things we did together.
Dude,
okay, Mark.
They're probably pushing him out the door.
All right.
I
am going to be honest. The more I listen to Mark B., I do not think he, again, had anything to do with Stephen Smith's murder.
I don't either. I agree with her. Wow. Okay, there's another part. There's a part 3. Oh, yeah, there's more. Or no, we already listened to that. My bad. Thank God. Here's another one. This guy's name is David Urim. This is 13 minutes. And this is of Hilton Head Island. He might be a Craigslist one-night stand. I don't know what this is going to entail, guys, so bear with me here. Thank you so much. Hang on, let me read these super chats. Yep, it's him. He's really dead in front of family. Wait. Remember this sketchy dude. Seen him at funeral, walk in and out, and then overheard him say out loud, didn't sit or act respectful, and as if his real name is Dick Hard. I really don't, I'm trying to understand. Said, yep, it's him. He's really dead in front of family and close friends, like it wasn't an accident. However, needed to check if the hit killed Stephen. He's guilty AF, in my opinion. Are you talking about this Burkhead guy? Because you might be behind. I'm not sure. I just want to make sure.
Head Island based on Stephanie.
CL06.
This actually originally came from Fitz News. So I think that's where it originated from. Fitz News.
6215. Today is August 28th, approximately 0909. Going to be speaking with David Urim. Oh, how are you doing, sir? Okay. Yes, that would be fine. Again, like I said the other day, you're not in any trouble, obviously. I'm not coming there and talking to you in person or anything, and I'm not reading your rights. So, okay. But basically, to start with, I always start with just some basic questions. Just, what is your address? Okay. And does anyone live with you, or do you live alone?
I basically live alone. I have an 18-year-old daughter that I was divorced last year, so she stayed with me on the weekends. And she just is a starting freshman at Coastal Carolina University, so she's now not living with me, for the most part. She's in her dorm up in Conway.
Okay. And how did you meet Stephen?
So we connected. He had placed an ad on Craigslist, so I responded to it, and so he met me I guess it was the evening of June 28th.
Okay. And again,
sick.
I mean, you're not going to be in any trouble for how you answer this question, but for this, was any money exchanged?
No.
Okay. So it was just like a date?
Yeah. It was just how would you say it? Consenting adult encounter. How's that?
That's fine. And about how many times did you talk to him prior to that to plan the meeting?
I think we only texted that day. Well, not texted, through the Craigslist email, however that works through Craigslist. But it was all through email, except when he was on his way here, we did exchange texts because I was just trying to help him find his way here.
Okay. And did you guys plan to meet again?
We did not. However, I texted him. He arrived here. I don't remember the exact time, but it was probably around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. He was delayed. I know he was working at, I think, the Hampton Fair or something of that sort that day. It was a Saturday, I believe.
Okay.
If I recall correctly. I think he was working with his sister at the fair. I think he might have been tired or whatever, in the shower or whatever. But anyways, it took him a while to get here. He got here later than what he had originally told me. But then, so then when he left, I don't remember exactly what the time it was, but it might have been like 1 a.m. or something like that. And I was a little concerned about him leaving that late, but, you know, he really wanted to go back. So he did. And then, and I did text him the next morning just to make sure he got home safe.
Oh, what a sweetie.
And then he just said he had a good time and that, you know, and that he'd be willing to meet me again sometime in the future. Because I had texted him a couple of times after that, which he never responded to, but maybe that's because he was already passed away and I didn't realize that, unfortunately. You know, that happens.
Yes.
Maybe because you're gross.
Afterwards, I mean, other than like the next morning,
it was really a one-night stand. I mean, I guess is the best way to say it.
Right.
Other than I was just concerned that he left kind of late. You know, he is like an hour. I don't know exactly what it was, but I'm guessing it was about an hour drive from Hilton Head back to his home.
Okay.
So I just, you know, I just wanted to make sure he got home safe.
Right.
Because we had a positive experience. I think we both mutually enjoyed each other's company. I just want to make sure he got home okay.
Okay. And
yeah, he's the same age as your daughter, you sicko.
Days later, do you remember when you sent him another text?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but I would guess because the only reason we were able to hook up that particular day was because my daughter was at like a leadership weekend at Coastal Carolina, so I normally wouldn't do that if she was around, obviously. So she happened to be away. I was alone that weekend, and it just kind of worked out. Then and she just started as a freshman, so I had like one other opportunity sometime between that we could have connected, but I don't remember exactly when that was, but it was probably a month or so later.
Okay.
That I might have sent him another text just saying, hey, would you be interested in, you know, hooking up again?
You never know with people, dude.
And he never responded, but I'm presuming that when I sent that, I think his accident already had occurred, or you know, whatever happened to him. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but
okay. But your best guess about a month later, roughly?
I'm thinking that's what it was. I deleted all my texts, so I don't have the records of them. Because when he didn't respond, like I sent him that one, and then I might have sent him a one like another week or two later, and didn't respond to either one. So I just figured, well, he's not interested in, you know. But I didn't know at that point what happened, so I just assumed, well, he's not interested in, you know, getting back together again. So I just deleted.
Okay.
You know, all my text correspondence, I'd say my email correspondence with him, so I don't have records of that anymore. So I'm going by memory now, but...
Right. And how did you find out that he had died?
So his mother, I believe it's his mother, found me on Facebook. And she found me, I guess, because when they got access to the car, the Palmetto Dunes Gate Pass was in his vehicle. He had not taken it out, so it was in there.
Okay.
And so she got my name, and of course she would have known the address, because I think the address is on the gate pass. So somehow she probably did a search, and she found me on Facebook. She messaged me, asking to be my friend, and I messaged her back, like, who are you? How do you know me? And then that's when I found out.
Okay.
And I just tried to be as helpful to her as I could, just saying she had a great son. And, you know, it was just a one-time thing, but, I just thought he was a very nice person.
Right. Okay.
A nice person that's the same age
when
as your
he did
daughter.
Come over, did anyone else know that he was coming over?
Get your head checked.
If they did, I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
The only one that possibly might have, if I had to guess, might have been his sister, because it seemed like, only from what he told me, he seemed like he was pretty close to his sister.
Okay.
But I don't know that for a fact. He didn't tell me that.
All right. And is there anything that I forgot to ask you, or perhaps that you think is important that I need to know about?
I don't think there is relative to our encounter. So the only thing I advised his mother was, that, well, first I just asked, was she aware of his sexual orientation? She said yes, but his father is, very much against it, or was against it, but she was pretty understanding of it. And then I said, were you aware that he had placed, some Craigslist ads? Because there's crazy people out there. I'm a very nice person, and, I would never do any harm to anybody.
I just want a kid the same age as my daughter.
People out there, so I just suggested that maybe she contact
the way they justify themselves. Ugh.
See if she can get access to their servers, or maybe you all can do your investigation, just in case. I don't know what happened that particular day or night when his accident or whatever happened to him happened, but I just I think it's a remote possibility that it might be somehow related to, another similar, Craigslist encounter, and, but not everybody likes his sexual orientation. So, it's just a possibility, is all I would say, is all I was trying to tell her.
Right.
Yeah.
It was his ad or your ad on Craigslist?
It was his ad. No, it was his ad, not my ad.
Okay.
I've never placed an ad.
Okay.
So I had only responded to it. So that was my concern is, if you want to call it a concern, it's not a concern, but, I'm just thinking what could have happened? Because she has a feeling that there was foul play involved. Whether there was or wasn't, I have no idea. It's certainly not my business to know. But I just know that these, you read about these kind of things that can happen. I try to, if I ever was going to, I don't do this kind of thing very often, very seldom actually, but I just, you read about, some bad things that happen.
That's what every pedo says when they're caught. I don't do this very often, or I've never done this before. But he willingly had Stephen Smith just come to his home.
Diarrhea of the mouth.
And not only that.
Because you're a liar.
Once in a while. So that was what was going through my mind.
Right. All right. Well, again, thank you very much for calling me back.
Okay.
And being very helpful. But
okay.
But have a good day, okay?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
This concludes this interview. Again, today's date is August 28th, and it's approximately 09:14.
That was weird. There's one more with his sister, if you guys want to hear that one. And she talks about Craigslist. This is Stephanie Smith. We may as well listen to this last one, too.
If you would, before we get started, just state your first, middle, and last name.
Stephanie Nicole Smith.
All right, and Stephanie, if you would, just give me your address and phone number for me, please. Okay. And Stephanie, I'm just going to get a little bit of background about you. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Okay. And you are the sister and twin of Stephen, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your educational level, what is it right now?
I'm a high school graduate. Haven't started college yet.
Okay. All right. So you understand reading and writing, is that correct?
Yes.
You living with your father, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you have other brothers that live there with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and they're older than you are? Okay. As far as this instance, I know you're familiar with what we've been kind of discussing a little bit earlier and plus in the past. This is about Stephen, where there was an incident on Sandy Run Road. And what I'm going to ask you is just kind of tell me a little bit about Stephen at first. I mean, you don't have to go back to his early childhood and stuff, but just right around high school up until now, just kind of give me a little bit of information about this, about, what Stephen is like and things like that.
Well, he was not really this way. In high school, he was kind of open and friends with everybody, but he didn't have, like a best friend. And, of course, I was always there.
Right.
I always had to back him up and everything. When he got into college, the first semester, he was acting normal. And then when he started doing summer classes, that's when he started acting a little funny. And
when you say funny?
He started coming home late.
Okay.
Like, just this recent Monday, he didn't come home until 2 o'clock in the morning. And sometimes he'll send me pictures, like, he sent me a picture of his cat, and his shoe was off, and I was like, are you at Mom's? He said, no, I'm still at school. I took my shoe off to get mud off his shoe, and I'm saying, that campus isn't muddy, it's clean and everything, so that didn't add up, but I didn't want to pressure him, so I just left it alone. And, he acted normal until just recently.
So, when you say normal, he was just an average kid, running around, hanging out with friends and stuff like that. Who did he typically hang out with?
Well, if I was there, it would be... the last time he actually hung out with people that I knew when I was around, that would be a girl named Tia Dobson, a boy named Jalen Dennis, and I think that was it. But, and normally he would hang out with a girl named Brittany Dandridge and a girl named Rachel Tootin, and that's who he rode to school with.
Okay. Do you know what he usually did, once y'all got out of school, do you know what he did throughout this part of the summer? And was he telling you where he was hanging out or what he was doing?
No, well, my mom said he started going over to her house. He would skip school some days and go to her house and stay there until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And she said he started hanging out at this place called Bobcat Landing. And he got in an altercation there. This is what my sister, it's on her phone, it was text messages between her and Steven. And he was asking her to come help him because cops got called out and he was getting in an argument with somebody. I don't know exactly who it was, but I know it was around the same exact time that this incident happened.
Okay, so...
It was July 4th.
July 4th. So it was over the July 4th weekend?
Yes.
All right. Now, Stephen was openly gay, is that correct? I mean, maybe not around the family, but to others, was he openly gay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Now, did you know, did he have any type of boyfriends or anything like that?
Steven's never had a relationship. That's one thing that got me when this guy said I'm his boyfriend, because he's not Steven's type.
Okay.
And because Steven liked skinny, kind of built, light-skinned guys. Okay. And, you know, when this guy's like, I'm his boyfriend, I'm just like, no, you're more of a sugar daddy. And he got mad at me for saying that, but I was just, you know, explaining to him, and he don't want to talk to me because everything he told me about Steven, I'm sitting here calling him a liar because...
Can you tell me some of the things that he told you about Steven?
He told me Steven was in an escort service, and I know for a fact Steven wasn't because he never left the house like that. And I think you got to be at least 21, I think. Okay. And he said he did it out in Charleston, and he was making about $3,800 a night and stuff like that. And he said him and Steven met at a club, and I told him that was a lie because we only went to one club, and that was Club Pantheon in Charleston because it was 18 and older. And he didn't meet anybody there because I was stuck on him like glue. I wouldn't let him go anywhere.
Right.
And
when was this when y'all went to that club? Don't have to be exact, but just month-wise, do you remember?
All I could tell you, it was like right after we turned 18.
And when did y'all turn 18?
January 29th.
Okay, so it was after January 29th?
Yes.
So it could have been February or March even, I mean, somewhere around there when you went to the club. Okay.
And he was sitting there saying that's how he met Steven. And then he changed his story and said he met Steven at a club that closed in Charleston when Steven was like 16. And I told him that's impossible because Steven didn't have a phone at 16. Steven didn't have his license nor a car.
When did Steven get his license? Do you remember?
Well, he never got his license. He was running on a permit.
So even up until his death, he was running on a permit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And he never drove. He didn't start driving until he started school. But that was like summer classes. That's when he started driving himself. And Marc said that him and Steven were meeting up at places and stuff like that, and I told him, I said, no, because we only had one car up until Steven started college.
Thank you,
and
Myron.
We got the yellow car, and then we got that SUV. Marc was saying that, I'm trying to remember everything.
That's fine. I mean, like I said, bad, good, indifference, I mean, you know, what somebody says doesn't make it true either. So.
Yeah, he was just sitting there, you know, telling me how he knew Steven and what Steven was doing. He said, did you know your brother smoked weed? I said, why would he smoke weed if he had to do a drug test for school? Because he had to do one constantly and all that. And he was like, I don't know. And then he said he gave Steven some money. And I know that was just $200. He said he was paying the car insurance, paying for all of Steven's school stuff. And that's not true because it comes directly out my dad's account, except that $200 for the scrubs. He told me Steven was being harassed at school, which I don't know if that's true or not because Steven would have told me and my dad if something happened at school.
Now, were you and Steven close enough for him to tell you stuff about his sexual relationship with other guys? Or were y'all that close enough where he would feel comfortable? Okay, good. Okay.
That's why he never had a boyfriend, because he had trust issues.
Okay.
But everything, like Marc was saying, I'm sitting here like, that's not my brother, and he's like, yeah, it is, and so we just stopped talking.
Do you know, when did you talk to Marc about that?
The night after the wake, my aunt sent him to my house, and he talked to me and my dad for a little bit, and that's when he was telling us all of this, and he asked me if I wanted to see my brother, like, on his phone, like, proof of them together, and I shouldn't have walked into that, because he showed me pictures that I didn't want to see.
I understand. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's not like I haven't seen it before, but I thought he was talking about pictures of them two together, you know, that kind of stuff. And then he said him and Steven got in an argument about this 22-year-old, whatever, so he showed me his phone, and in the contacts it says the 22-year-old I met in the phone. And
now go back now. Today you said they got in an argument about a 22-year-old?
Yeah. All
right. Do you know the 22-year-old they're talking about?
All I know is in Marc's phone it says a 22-year-old I met in the store. He said something about something.
That's what this dude put someone in his phone as, the 22-year-old I met in the store? This guy needs to be investigated. Is he like trying to like groom? What's he doing? Sick.
Happened on this app called Grin. It's a gay app.
Okay.
Called what?
I don't know
Groom?
if they got in an argument or something, but somebody blocked him off of there, so Marc couldn't go on his thing. But something on there, I don't know exactly. his thing, but 22-year-old I met in the store. He said something about something happened on this app called Grin. It's a gay app.
Okay.
I don't know if they got in an argument or something, but somebody blocked him off of there, so Mark couldn't go on his thing. But something on there, I don't know exactly what. But
now prior to Mark ever coming over to y'all's house, did you know about Mark?
all I knew is that there was some guy paying for Steven's phone and his phone bill.
Okay.
And gave him $200. Other than that, Steven didn't talk about him.
Okay. You said he started acting real funny about his life, I guess, about what he was doing. And it was about 2 weeks prior to his death?
He was acting a little secretive.
Okay. So he was becoming more secretive then.
Mm-hmm.
And was that with the whole family, including you?
Yeah, that was with the whole family.
And listen to when she mentions a Buster Murdoch.
You told me earlier today about people that possibly were involved.
A bunch of people, like, I just left the house the first official time yesterday.
Yes, ma'am.
And I went into the store, and a bunch of people kept coming up to me, and they're like, did you know the Murdoch boys are behind it? You know, saying Buster Murdoch, the one we went to school with, did it, and some of his friends, and I'm just sitting here like, why? You know, it makes no sense. He's never said anything bad about Steven. He's never been around Steven to...
Who told you?
One person was a friend of my brother's. I can't think of his name. Then a boy named Tyrell told me, and some other people, but I'm just, you know, I was mind-boggled at that, and I kind of ignored it. You know, I haven't heard any more about that.
Interview with Stephanie, she mentions a Mark B, a 22-year-old in Mark's phone, an incident 4th of July weekend, and she mentions the rumors that Buster Murdoch and his friends were involved. Let's touch on Patrick Wilson and Sean Conley. But before we do, when I was 19 years old, I actually, unfortunately, ran over a pedestrian crossing the road. Everything about this investigation, to me, there is no way that he was hit by a car. Having first-hand experience, there would have been some type of debris in the road, and I do not think the mirror just would have clipped his upper forehead. And if you want me to tell you the story about the night I ran a lady over, thank God she did not pass away, but I will tell you about it. Let me know in the comments. Get your whiteboards out, because a pen and paper, I can't handle this. Down the rabbit hole we go. There were 2 individuals that were viewed by SLED as persons of interest in connection with Stephen Smith's death. Patrick Wilson and Sean Conley were embroiled in various legal...
I was... Sorry, guys. I was in the living room. It's the person where I got this audio from. Do we want to listen to Patrick Wilson and Sean Connolly? It's Monkey Mar.
A 22-year-old in Mark's phone, an incident for... I was December in the...
I guess there's no more...
In the...
Yeah, there's no more audio. That was it. That was all from his sister. That was it. Yeah. There's also this that I saw is new.
First of all, Sandy, I want to say how sorry I am for your loss. To lose a child,
I guess
I think
Katie Couric has her own podcast, but let's see if there's anything. She's got it all chaptered. Let's see. Oh, look.
Good days and bad days.
Look at little Steven.
I know that your daughter was Steven's.
Look how cute. The suspicious circumstances, the incompetence of the pathologist who ruled Steven's death a hit and run. This was 7 months ago, actually, so that's kind of old. All right, well, I think that's it. That's it for today. We're going to wrap this up. I'll be back live at 2 p.m. Eastern. We had a huge drug bust in Pinellas County, Florida. So join me back here at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to find out exactly what the sheriff's office busted. They said dozens of people have been arrested. Dozens. Dozens. So I'll see you back here, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's roll our beautiful credits. Thank you so much for your support. Bye, members. I'll see you over in the Discords. And I'll see you back here at 2. Good day, mates. Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists for more true crime content. And if that's not enough, you could join our Patreon. Don't have a tinfoil hat? It's okay. We'll make you one. It's that easy. See you guys in the next video.
See you later. Bye.
I don't give a damn. I don't really
Because you're a liar.
about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn.
Creep town, dude.
Oh my God. God forbid.
I don't want Jennifer or two Jennifers.
You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time.
Ashley, nobody said yikes and hasn't come home, Ashley.
Late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool.
I'm here to help you learn.
Shut up, Amica.
Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I
I don't want Jennifer or two Jennifers.
Bye, Jennifer.
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Hello. Alec Murdoch's guilty. Ah.